here we are, the main event, BRITBOWL 34 here at the New River Stadium in Tottenham, North London. I'm John Jackson. I'll be leading you through this afternoon, but I feel like I need an expert. I need someone who knows the game. Well, I think this is Phoebe Schechter, former GB cap. Are you Phoebe Schechter?
Yes.
Did you used to captain the GB team?
I did, yes.
I think you probably need to come with me. Yeah. So you must be quite excited about this. London Warriors versus Manchester Titans. It's the culmination of a long season, and it is, I mean, you can see the fans starting to come in here. Very exciting.
Oh, it's so exciting. This is going to be a tale of two halves, I can imagine. A very physical side of the London Warriors, and then we've got Manchester Titans who love to put that ball in the air. So I can't wait for this.
Now look, you've coached all around the world. You used to be with the Buffalo Bills, and now I just always see you flying around the world. But I need an expert. I need someone who knows the British game incredibly well. Maybe a familiar face if you've watched this before. I think it's Tash. Tash Crump's here. Hello.
Hi.
Right, can you join me and Phoebe and do this show, please?
Of course I can.
Are you looking forward to this as much as Phoebe? Because Phoebe's a little bit off her rocker with excitement.
It is going to be great. Two of the best programmes in the UK are here in the final today. It's going to be an incredible game. I can't wait to see what happens.
Now look, we've got loads coming up for you. Tash is going to go out in the crowd and see what the crowd is saying. Very, very vocal already this early. We're also going to chat to Jason Scott, who you know very well, Phoebe, as the leader of the men's GB squad and everything going on with that. But first, the teams are arriving actually. So let's see Manchester Titans arriving here slightly earlier. Well, it's great to have many guests here in North London today, and Jason, it's great to have you here. Now, you were hoping to be here in a different kind of guise. I know you're physically here, but you'd have liked to have been physically on the sidelines.
Indeed. It's really disappointing, obviously, being a head coach at Tamworth Phoenix. We narrowly got defeated a couple of weeks ago against the Warriors, but what it does allow me to do is to be a spectator at this great event, watching so many of our national team players participating on the biggest stage in British football. So I hope to see a really good game, and having played both teams, I know it's going to be really competitive.
Now, being in charge, the head of the men's programme, are you watching other players who maybe aren't in the national team setup yet, who could potentially make it there?
Absolutely, we're always on the eye out for new recruits and new prospects. We've got our squad, 75 squad, it's pre-set for the autumn game, which we're hoping to play against Italy on the 29th of October, we think, in Milan. But then we're looking for the next rotation. So for the 22-23 season, looking to bring some players in and shake things up. And we're always wanting to get young. I think we've got 20-25 players who are under the age of 23 in the squad at the moment, and we want to get young. We've got this 5-year plan going where we want to be mixing it within 5 years at the very top of the European game.
Okay, and I mean, Phoebe knows everybody here. Right? As we've been walking around between the games, Phoebe's just getting shouted by the crowd. There's, there's players saying hi to Phoebe, and you obviously know each other well because Phoebe's involvement in playing for GB as well. And I mean, you must go way back. I mean, I'm just assuming here.
Phoebe's the most connected person in British football, undoubtedly. I'm languishing, so maybe in the lower teens. I know some people, but I'm not Phoebe Schechter.
Oh, stop. I think, it's been really cool is to see, so Jason Scott coached in the States back in the day. He's done a huge amount for women's sport as well. I had the pleasure of being coached by him with our GB women's team. And you're also a massive proponent of getting more females involved in coaching. I know one of the coaches who's coaching for Manchester Titans, Bo Stewart, she had been with you for a little bit. You've got Laura Moore, Laura Dye. These are GB players who have also taken a really big role in coaching, and you've been a really big mentor for them.
I think it's really important that we were growing the sport, and I've been involved in sport in the UK for 16 years, and the evolution of the sport is huge. Whether it's at grassroots level, whether it's the women's game, the flag, the youth game, I think it's all about growing, and it all ends up on today in the flagship event of British American football. So we'd like to see more and more women coaching at this level. We'd like to see more and more success in the Worlds, as we've just had recently, and try and get these young people through the game. And it's huge to see that how much it's changed in even the last 5-6 years.
And I've been asking people this all day, and surely the NFL becoming more and more popular in the UK and being more accessible so people can watch it at home. Is that sort of trickling through now with the younger people coming up?
Yeah, you absolutely see it. I mean, I think with the excitement that's generated from the international series, more people are accessing it, whether it's watching it on TV, on BBC or Channel 4 or Sky, and it's at your fingertips all the time. Even with social media, the NFL's UK account on Twitter and on Instagram, young people are getting into it. I was a developer at the time of the Phoenix youth team the other day. More and more people are getting involved through that. So it's really good to see that those foundations have been laid. The path has been paved. We just need people to walk it now.
And in terms of this game, we've got to actually talk about the game that's coming up. Unlucky to lose against one of the teams playing today. I mean, do you think that is it any consolation to you to see that team go on and win, or does it really not matter at this stage because you tried but it just fell short?
Yeah, well, we've been beaten by both teams today. So we played Manchester Titans in week 1 in the first game of the season and lost to the London Warriors in the last game of the season. But we did sandwich that with a win against the Titans. So I am well aware of what they can do, and what you're going to see today is two contrasting styles. Expect the Warriors to come down hill and hit the Titans in the mouth and with a power running game, and expect the Manchester Titans to sling it out and try and play an expansive game and use the space. So it's a really interesting chess match you're going to get. Tony Allen on the Warriors sideline is a widely respected coach with a huge amount of experience and knowledge, and you've got John Homer with the Manchester Titans, who is a young upstart coach who is buoyed by their juice and their excitement on their sideline, and you'll certainly hear them.
Big blue wrecking
It's going to be really, really intriguing today. It's going to be a great game.
And finally, in terms of the players out there, I mean, who are we looking out for? Who have you coached for the GB team that we should be looking out for?
I think the trio of Manchester receivers, Chris Winrow, Adam Bamber and Max Gracie Ainskill will be really good with the quarterback Sam Bloomfield. I think defensively, you're looking at the big defensive line of the London Warriors, Rodon Zakiri, Cedric Akron and Jordan Metcalf on the back end. I think they're all going to play huge roles today.
Excellent stuff. Well, any more questions from you, Phoebe, being the most well-connected person in British American football?
Not particularly. I mean, I've been able to watch you guys play here for the past couple of years, and just thank you for everything.
Don't rub it in.
I'm not. No, thank you for everything that you do for the sport as well. You know, it's amazing to see what you've done over the years.
Yeah, well, it's always good, and seeing the women. This is a loving now. Seeing the women do so well in Finland, it's awesome to see. And like I say, I knew Phoebe when she not first started playing, but way back in the day, and seeing those players go on and become leaders of this team and go into coach, and it's awesome. So it's the British community, British BRITBOWL community is special. I think it's one of the most tightly knit, closest communities any British sport, because we all know one another and we're all in it for the same thing, which is to develop the game and grow the game. That's why I got into coaching, because I want to give back, and it's why Phoebe's still involved, and so many people are wanting to coach and volunteer. So it's going to be a great game. Like I say, the main event, capping off the season with a huge success.
Absolutely it is, and you mentioned the exceptional crowds, and we've seen great people here earlier for the under-19s game, and we're seeing loads of people arriving here now, and I know there's food, and I know there's people being able to buy jerseys and things like that, and I believe that Tash might be in the crowd with some people who have come to watch.
So I'm not just with anyone in the crowd. I am with Susannah Taylor, who everybody knows as one of BAFRA's great referees. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks very much. So pleased to be here.
So, BAFRA, refereeing in American football.
Yes.
You guys obviously have your strategy and you are trying to get more people involved.
Yes.
What is it that you are doing right now to encourage people to try and get more people, get more referees as part of British American football?
Well, we've had a really great successful campaign this summer, and we really engaged with the teams. We realised that players listen and follow their own social media pages, so we created some graphics and content for them, and they posted them out, and that was fantastically successful. So we were really engaging through teams, engaging through coaches, engaging through the different organisations around sports. So we're going to be working with Bucks this autumn and engaging with universities, and really showing them that there's lots of opportunities and there's funding out there for people to start officiating.
Do you think that that is the future, trying to actually get these young players from universities who might not want to go and play senior football but understand the game and then can actually then go and referee? Is that one of the goals and one of the things that you're really trying to push?
Well, there's two spaces there. So there's the first one, which is at the beginning, when they first come into university and they've got all the dreams and all the bright ideas, and they can sign up for officiating right away without having to played ever. You know, I came into the sport as a fan, and I think that's an opportunity for them. So we're going to be targeting them at the beginning of term. And then again, as you say, at the end of the season, at the end of the March time, that's sort of the end of that term, we're going to be targeting those potential players who are retiring. It's their senior term, they're going to be going out into the world, and they might feel that the step up from university to adult in their area is a bit too much of an upgrade. So yeah, possibly that's an opportunity as well.
When it comes to women and refereeing, obviously being a female yourself, you are wanting to push that massively, and we are seeing more females, and especially females that, as you say, are really interested in NFL and the British game but might not necessarily want to play. We're seeing more and more of them step up and come through. What is going to be the big push for trying to get women and more women involved in refereeing this year?
Well, we've just come back from Finland where we had the World Cup, and Team GB did fantastically well there, coming second to the America, so obviously the country which the sport comes from. So I think a lot of women have come in this year. We've had an uptick in inquiries. We've had 15 in the last year and actually converted 3 this week. I think that women have played American football now for a number of years, so they're starting to see that the next opportunity for developing themselves as players, developing themselves as coaches, is learning the rules and coming round to officiating. It's something that everybody should consider, because you can play and officiate by switching seasons, play in the summer, officiate in the winter, or vice versa. So literally anyone from any background can give it a go.
So that's all great, but I think what some people might want to know who are really interested in getting involved in this is, what is the one piece of advice that you would give somebody who is on the cusp of potentially applying to be a BAFRA referee?
Well, I tell you, I get the same buzz on the field as the players and the coaches do. As we're preparing ourselves for the game, I get myself ready. I'm out there on a free kick, I might be down on the goal line, and I look out on the field and my adrenaline is through the roof. You get that buzz when you've made the important call or no call, like keeping that flag in your pocket and saying no, that didn't happen, is almost as important as calling it, and that buzz is just amazing.
Well, it's a great crowd here in North London. It's like cloud coming over now, which is a shame, Phoebe. It's been nice and sunny all morning, and the game earlier was in sunshine, but it's getting slightly darker, but it shouldn't put the players off too much. We can just see the teams coming out behind us. Now, you know these teams really well from your work across British American football. What are we expecting from this game today? I imagine it's going to be a physical one.
It absolutely will. Basically, the London Warriors are known for their physicality, and really knowing what they've done in the past, they're going to come in, they're going to want to put their name down on them, make that stamp and run the ball as much as possible, wear down the Manchester Titans defense, because they've probably not been against a team quite like the London Warriors. Now, from a Manchester Titans point of view, their strength definitely comes in the air. Their ability to throw the ball with QB quarterback Sam Bloomfield, and then their 3 receivers that, they're really going to be able to get the ball around.
Excellent stuff. I think the Warriors are about to come out now, but in terms of the Warriors, very, very dominant, and I know that basically teams from the north have sort of challenged them in the past and not really got on so well, and it's kind of an amazing story to see the Titans and how they've got to be in this final from over the last few years or so.
Massively, and that's a real testament to what the Titans have been building for years. I think since 2003 is when it really started, but they've done a great job. They have multiple youth and junior programs, flag programs, women's, tackle and flag. They have multiple adult programs. I mean, that's incredible. And you look at how many of the Big Blue Wrecking Crew are on the sideline right now. I mean, that says a major amount for them to come all the way down to London today and really put on a show for and represent the North.
Now, I've heard a lot of rumours that the team themselves and also the fans are quite rowdy with the Manchester Titans. Is this rumour true? Tash was telling me. Tash has come back from the crowd now. I was just telling Phoebe, Tash, that the Manchester Titans are known for being quite rowdy, the fans and also the players as well.
Yeah, I just think that they're an exciting team, really, aren't they?
You can come back towards me. It's fine. I don't smell that bad.
I thought that you did.
I have been wearing. No, we're okay. We're at 50%. We're at 50%.
No, I think they're just an exciting team, and they are like they've got a big fan base. Obviously, they've got a massive team. Like they're taking up, I mean, pretty much the whole pitch right now. Yeah. So they've got a massive team. So yeah, of course you're going to be rowdy when there's that many people.
I was just telling. I wasn't telling Phoebe anything. Phoebe knows everything. I was just saying to Phoebe that obviously the Warriors have been very, very dominant, and I know, as an expert on the British game, other teams have come, and Tamworth I know have challenged them before, and this is the latest team from the North to give them a go. Do you think realistically we can see a Titans win?
Unsure about a Titans win, however, I think it's going to be an incredible game. I think that if the Titans, for example, if the Titans win the toss and decide to decide to return it, I think that could potentially start them off on a good foot, because if they can get like a few positive runs in, then I think that we could actually see some momentum behind them. Whether it's going to be a Titans win, this might be their first time, but I could see them easily coming back next year. Easily coming back the year after. I think they're just going to go from strength to strength, and this might be their, because it's their first time, this might be their way to just ease themselves into it. And then in the future, I can see many wins coming to them. Okay,
but it's good to build something. I mean, we talked earlier in the under-19. I've got to stop. Here's the national anthem.
Hello, 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 hello.
There we go, the full national anthem. Wasn't quite the full one for the under-19s earlier. Technical glitch, but it happens to the best of us. I was just saying it's good that Manchester Titans have this development, and I know that Phoebe, you're involved in developing people's games, and it's good to see. And compared to what things are like over in the States, I mean, obviously it's the United States sport. Where are we at in the grand scheme of things with the British game?
I think that's a very interesting question, because it's almost not just American football. We're talking about all sports in the UK compared to all sports in the US, essentially. And I think we still have, in the US, such a major emphasis on youth sports. And from a very young age, teaching children to play multi-sports, learning how to run, those basic skills that perhaps there's still not that level of emphasis on here. But if we're talking about actually just American football to American football, something like this would be very similar to a Division III college or university program game, which is something to definitely be proud of. And also, it's a great opportunity for some of these people who want to go play in the States potentially, or go play out in Europe, because at least you're getting a bit of a taste of that.
Absolutely.
I think you even look at the collegiate level over in America, and what colleges can offer students over there compared to what universities can offer students over here. So if you look at the separation between that and the differentiation, it's massive. And actually, that's why more and more British players, youth players, are now pushing to actually get those college scholarships rather than actually looking at British universities, because they just can't offer the same in all sports.
Now, I know Notts Uni have a really good facility there, and I know it costs a lot of money. Obviously you guys travel around a lot. What are the facilities like comparatively, to where we are here? A lovely AstroTurf field, but I can't imagine there's too many that are set up specifically for American football.
No, and then you're also looking at university versus the adult or senior season, which are two very different things. University, at least you have a higher opportunity of having more of those Loughborough, University of Nottingham facilities, but there's still a lot of universities. Keele isn't so bad. They definitely have lovely fields. Do they necessarily have the same strength and conditioning emphasis? Because then you also look into, we talk about UON and the strength and conditioning side, do other teams offer that either?
Okay, well, I think we're going to have the coin toss here. So I believe it's time for me to be quiet because I think we're going to hear from the referee.
Manchester were the designated team. That's the point. That's heads. And that's tails. What is your cookie? Tails is scored by the Titans. It's the heads. You want to defer. Warriors are on the toss. They've got further options in the second half. I'm assuming you want to Warriors, which way do you want to kick? Turn it back to goals. You're defending these guys. Therefore, the first half option is with the Titans, and they will take the ball. Thank you, guys. Very best of luck.
So there we go, Warriors win the toss, so the Titans will start with the football. Now, we're just talking about Manchester Titans, and Tash, I know you were telling me earlier that they're very inclusive.
Yeah, I think that with the Titans, they have gone on such a journey over the last, especially the last 3-4 years. You look at where they were probably about 5-6 years ago, probably about half the size of this team. Now they've got an incredible youth program. They've now got 2 senior teams. Their women's program is growing as well. It is just such an exciting time for them as a team because they are really building. They're starting to build up, but also their inclusivity. They're just open arms to everybody. If you want to play, they will invite you in. They will make you part of the team, and they'll be there for you to develop as a player.
Yeah, and I concur with that. Titans were actually the first time I ever coached for youth football when I first started coaching. They've also got Tika, who's on the pitch, who's kitted out. So exciting time.
Excellent. I think it's time we hand over to our commentary team, Carl Walkinshaw and Matt Walker.
Thank you very much, John. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to BRITBOWL 34 here from the New River Stadium in North London, where we can confirm that from the coin toss, the Warriors won the toss and deferred, which is why they're kicking off. And back deep to return for the Titans is Alex Eager, who takes the opening kickoff and manages to get up to the 20, but not much further. Great to be with you this afternoon, as it is with my co-commentator, Carl Walkinshaw.
Hi Matt, hi everyone, great to be with you. It's the big one, Matt. It's the 2 best adult teams in the country, London Warriors, Manchester Titans. We're so grateful to be bringing you this live footage. And on the kickoff, both teams solid on that. Nice kickoff all the way to the goal line and a decent return to the 20. It'll be the Titans and Bloomfield out first.
Yeah, Bloomfield, completion percentage of 65 and change. 2,270 yards on the season, 43 TDs. As he gets trips to his right-hand side, surveys the field, and on first down he goes to the air and throws a little quick slant. Ooh, and straight away we thought it was going to be an aggressive, violent game. And Scott Higgins with the reception feels the force of the Warriors, but not before he's picked up a first down.
Yeah, it was a nice little play, wasn't it? And this is what the Titans will do. They go, hurry up, they'll take what you give them. Bloomfield will have a look. Here we go, 2nd and 10.
No huddle offense, as we have been accustomed to with the Titans. And that's 2 completions in a row. As Bloomfield wants to try and start this at a fast tempo to try and keep the Warriors on their heels. Here we go then, 2nd and 6. Bloomfield trips to the short side of the field. One of those men come in motion now. And the ball's handed off the other way. And hurdles a man. And is scythed down after the hurdle. That's Thomas Jones on the carry. And what you will get with the Titans is tempo, Carl.
Absolutely. Bloomfield will take a look. He'll see what his options are. And they'll go straight to it as they are. 3rd and 4, key down now for them in this early drive.
Here we go, as one of the defensive linemen for the Warriors jumps early on. He's waving his hands around, remonstrating. Is that flag for encroachment, or is it going to be called against the Titans for false starting? Number 5 moved, Scott Grant. Scott Grant, my mistake, who moved. Let's listen and hear from Brian Yates.
False start. 71 Titans. 5-yard penalty. It remains 3rd down.
That's Krzysztofiak accused of the false start for the Titans. So marching them back, it brings up 3rd and long. An early test for Bloomfield and the Titans offense. As I mentioned at the beginning of the show, this Warriors team so dominant in recent years. A number of challengers from the north have tried to take them out and failed as Bloomfield goes up top, looking once again for Scott Higgins. Just flies on him a little bit, rolling to his left as a right-hander and then throwing back across his body. No easy skill for anybody, let alone against this Warriors defense.
He likes to roll out as Bloomfield. He likes to roll out and move that offensive line, that big offensive line. He had Winrow and he had Scott Higgins to that side, but he wasn't able to complete in the end. 4th down.
And there is a flag from our officiating crew.
Prior to the snap, substitution infraction. Titans, 12 men in the huddle. 5-yard penalty, but it remains 4th down.
So march them 5 yards further back, which will bring up 4th and 15. Well, it's 14 in fact. But nevertheless, Titans will punt the ball away, and the decision to defer by the Warriors is a good one. Low kick, but once again, as we saw this morning, takes a Titans bounce, and we will see the Warriors in their offense for the first time this afternoon.
So a couple of early completions from Bloomfield. So he's settled those nerves, got those couple of completions, but then the drive stalls. And here come the Warriors off that win off Tamworth, where they beat Tamworth 28-21 in the end. But that score at halftime, which shocked a lot of people when the Warriors played Tamworth, Tamworth were up 20-7. So we'll have to see what Warriors we get, whether we get the focused, determined Warriors on this first drive.
Nick Jackett in at quarterback for the London outfit. Hands off on 1st down. And that's good penetration by the Titans front 7. Jack Watson, the first man there, number 55. Before he's joined by his mates. Pickup of a yard on 1st down.
Jack Watson, been around for a number of years, a very good linebacker is Jack, and he makes an early impression here on 1st down to stifle any run attempt. Warriors want to get that run game going early.
2nd and 9. If you can establish that run, if you are relatively new to the game, if you can establish the run, it opens up so much more in the passing game as Jackett flicks that ball out, pitches it out to the right-hand side. And number 35 for the Warriors, Sabawale Raymond, lowers the boom on the Titans defender.
He's such a powerful runner, Sabawale. We're going to see him all day long, pounding his way up that sideline. And you don't want to take him on one-on-one because he will dish out the punishment.
Raymond Sabawale, 2nd run, it's 3rd and short. Jackett to try and convert for the first down, and the way that's going, it looks like it's going to be Sabawale again, and he skips out of one tackle, picks up 3 yards, and that's a 1st down on midfield for the London Warriors.
They're getting penetration of the Titans defensive line, and that's exactly what they need to do. But Sabawale's so strong, just unless you can really get a good form tackle on Sabawale, he's going to keep trucking forwards.
Defense.
So 3 plays,
penalty,
3 runs,
to 1st down.
and 1st down as Brian Yates, our referee, informs us. Once again, Brian Yates leads this crew this afternoon of Davey Parsons, Ben Griffiths, Pete Tom, James Ford Bannister, Pete Parsons, Ewan Patterson and Stuart Young.
Here's that run by Sabawale. You see contact in the backfield, but then he just drives his legs. And it's 55 again that has to come and drag him down. 1st down, Warriors.
Jackett once again pitches to the left this time to Sabawale, who makes a cut to his right inside. Picks up maybe a yard or 2 before he's brought down close to the 45. Just going to wear that defensive front down of the Titans as much as they can in this opening exchange.
Jack Watson's a busy boy so far. 3 tackles straight off the bat. Heavy running side, and that's what you need from that middle linebacker spot. Going left, going right, taking on blockers where he needs to and getting to the ball carrier. 2nd and 7 now for these Warriors. Opening drive.
Sabawale takes his leave for the time being. On comes Jermaine Allen in the backfield alongside Jackett. Jackett going back to pass for the first time. Looks to his left, and he's got a man, and the ball is in and out of the hands of number 7, Alexander Hedane. First incompletion of the afternoon for Jacket.
Yeah, it was a beautiful pass, bang on target, but it was number 1, I think, that it was going to, which was Ben Mbemba. And so just couldn't reel it in. Was contact there, but definitely had a chance to pull that one down.
Apologies, that 7, number 1 looked like a 7 from where at my vantage point, but I'll take your word for that call. So 2nd and 7 inside Titans territory, opening exchanges of this BRITBOWL 34.
Still 2nd down.
We already saw there was a flag on the play there from Mr. Yates, which marches the Warriors back 10 yards. So from 2nd and 8, it becomes 2nd and a long. Let's see how Jacket and the Warriors offense approach this one. Titans show blitz. Blitz comes from the edge, flung out on a little bubble screen, but that's well defended once again. That's Ian Jacket with the reception.
It's really nice, nicely defended by number 22 of the Titans, which is Sam Pearson, who just manages to shed his blocker on that screen and tackle that for a loss. That's going to bring up 3rd and long. This is the type of situation that the Titans will want to keep the Warriors in.
3rd and 17, as Carl suggests. First big test for this Warriors offense, and equally for the Titans defense. Jacket back to pass, looks left, now looks back to his right, scrambles, got time, but now he's in trouble and he's taken down for a big loss. Loss of 12 yards on the play, which will bring up 4th and a bus ride. So on the opening 2 possessions, the defenses are dominant for both champions of the North and champions of the South.
That's Big Katie making the great British line defensive nose tackle that came in to make that play. And initially it looked like they had good pass protection, but the Titans rush 6 and they get to Jacket for a loss. 4th down.
Both defenses stepping up, doing their job. Both offenses taking time to get into things as the punt is up. Catches in the wind here at New River and takes a Warriors bounce. And it is fielded by Adam Bamba.
Great coverage on that. The Warriors was a great punt, a high punt, took a high bounce, and Bamba fielded it, but just no chance on that, and it means that the Titans are going to be just at their 10-yard line, just outside, maybe the 11.
Yeah, Adam Bamba, Great Britain wide receiver.
This is the pass from Jacket and then the eventual sack, and there's Cady right there. He is a warrior himself in a Titans jersey.
So 2nd possession for the Titans. Bloomfield hands off on 1st down. And there's nothing doing there up the middle. As the running back tries to tiptoe his way through, does Thomas Jones, but to no avail. Maybe he loses half a yard at the same time. 2nd and 11. This could be the case all day. These offenses struggling against these powerhouse defenses. Bloomfield, again, awkward snap. Manages to field it well, then goes to the air, and he's got a man out front, but that's underthrown as Bloomfield was trying to complete that pass on the run, looking for Bamba.
Walter Reese right there with Bamba on that one, and Bamba needed to turn into the defensive back to bat that one down as the DB, Reese, was in a much better position. So great coverage by the Warriors. 3rd 11.
Not afraid to be taking shots in this first quarter of the Titans. And with the silent snap count again. Little bubble screen, saw that as they were warming up. And that's a successful completion that time out to Max Gracie Ainscoe. But it's going to be short of a 1st down. And the punt team will come out once again.
Sean Reese coming in for his linebacker spot just to make the tackle and prevent any further yards. So whilst the completion was there, 4th down and not great field position. You've got to punt here, Matt. Get rid of the ball. Put yourself in a position where your defence has got some turf to defend.
Oh, Carl, this is breathless.
Both these teams move so fast, don't they?
Punt is up. And again, fielded at midfield. And number 10, Luke Hegney, takes the ball around about 6-7 yards after he fields at midfield.
George Slade, 87, made a nice play there. He just pushed the guy that was trying to block him right into the path of the runner, flipped him up. But it means, due to that great punt from the Warriors, it means that they will take over in the Titans' own half. And it's Big Sam in the backfield. We'll see whether the Titans can buckle him up.
Absolutely. Raymond Sabawali alongside Jacket, and Sabawali takes the handoff, looks for room around the right end, finds it, jukes, dances and falls forward for a first down. Beautiful running by the big man.
Yeah, he's big, he's strong, and he can make a cut as well, and that's what he did on that, just looking for that edge, and then as soon as he sees that hole opening up, he will cut right through it. Now he is going to be swapped out. We don't know whether he's got an ankle issue there. You'll see Sabawala, eyes downfield. There's the cut, nice and quick, and then look at the amount of Titans it takes to drag him down.
First down, Warriors, just outside the Titans' 30-yard line. Jacket back to pass this time, flings out to his left, but receiver and quarterback on a different page that time. Receiver headed downfield. Quarterback thought he was going to come back on a hook or a comeback, something of that ilk.
He's got to be careful there. You had Ricardo Delver, number 1 for the Manchester Titans, just loitering, waiting for the opportunity to pick that off, and if he got the ball in that position, he would be gone.
Second down. Nice competitive start to this one. Earlier on, if you were with us for the Under-19 Championship, the London Blitz ran out victorious. As a big loss. Tackle for a loss is Sam Fossey. And Sam Fossey transferred from the Sheffield Giants in 2020. Played for the Warriors at one point. And he's defensive captain and on the GB squad as well, Sam Fossey. Third and long once again for the Warriors. As I was mentioning, the London Blitz under-19s were crowned national champions as they took out the Tamworth Phoenix, shut them out. 46-0 is the final score there. Jacket goes back to pass and floats one over to the right-hand side. And it's not near his intended receiver. Rowan Huggins, number 82, who had a step of separation on his defender. But Jacket couldn't quite get it where it needed to be. So that'll be punt situation once again.
He did have a step there, didn't he? You just wonder whether Higgins could have made a bigger effort for that football as he was beaten in coverage.
So a fascinating start to BRITBOWL 34. 2 possessions each. 2 punts each. Here's Brian Yates.
False start. Number 18, Warriors. 5-yard penalty. It remains 4th down.
That penalty won't hurt them too much. There's a little bit of extra room to see whether they can get this punt into the corner.
Alex Eager and Sam Fossey back deep to return, standing just inside their own 10-yard line. Watching the Warriors punter in warm-up, he was picking those coffin corners out. He was putting it exactly where he wanted to. Nice high kicks were going, and there's another one, but that's got caught in the wind and isn't going to go quite as far as he wants it to. As Titans get out of the way, it takes a Titans bounce. We'll see Bloomfield in the offense once again, starting from their own 15.
Titans off that big win over Bristol which turned into a shootout in the end, and they made it harder on themselves, did Manchester, than it needed to be. But they are here. Last 2 times it's been Tamworth, but due to the win that the Titans got over Tamworth during that season, they were the division leaders, beat Bristol, and here they are in the final against the mighty Warriors. Bloomfield's second drive.
Yeah, third drive already, actually, Cole. Bloomfield whips it out. Oh, and that's incomplete. Just a forward pass, so it falls incomplete rather than being a fumble. But is this the start you expected, Carl? I know being a defensive coordinator yourself, you like a bit of a defensive slugfest. Is this what you're expecting?
Didn't expect the incompletions on third down from the Warriors, but the running game certainly is as expected. But the Titans defense currently playing well. We'll see how long they can sustain that against this mighty Warrior team.
Bamber in motion, ball handed off. Finds a nice little hole. Does Tom Jones. And some would say it's not unusual for Tom to find gaps like that. Third and short. Bloomfield flicks the ball out again and has a first down. And his receiver, Max Gracie Ainscoe, tries to step out of the tackle. But a first down, and the chains move for the Titans. They maintain that high tempo offense. No huddle. Try and keep the Warriors on their toes.
This is good work from the Titans early on in this one. Still Q1 if you just joined us, 0-0 here. Titans mounting the drive this time from just outside their 10.
So far so good. Bloomfield again getting the ball out of his hands quickly. And that was close to being tip drill material, as the ball is off the hands of Gracie Ainscoe.
Walter Reese again in the coverage, just running those little hook patterns, and Reese is closing quickly on the football to force these incompletions.
Trips to the left this time for Bloomfield. Bloomfield been the starting QB for the Titans for the last 5 years. I remember when we did the D1 Championship game at Leeds between these Titans and the Olympians when they got into the Premiership, Cole. And they've just gone from strength to strength since that time. And on second down, there's not much doing there for the runner.
You're right, man. That was 5 years ago, and it was actually the time of the Manchester bombing. I don't know whether you remember that, but this year is actually 5 years after that event, and the Titans do see that as significant in terms of their progress.
So big third down here, 3rd and 7. Bamber in motion. Bloomfield rolls to his right again, and he hits Bamber, and Bamber turns, but he's just out of bounds, a yard short, and this will be an interesting decision. You'd think at this particular situation with the score as it is in the national final, you'd think we'd see the punt team come out, and indeed special teams is the call from the Titans. Head coach Jonathan Homer. Try and play the field position game early on in this one, Carl, rather than risking giving the Warriors good field position.
Titans playing their typical game plan, seen them twice this year, once against the Giants and obviously the semi-final, but at the moment they're playing as billed.
That's a good kick, hangs up in the wind, and it's well fielded, but also the kick coverage is outstanding. And that's Mustafa Kamara, who stands his man up in the open field and doesn't allow Luke Hegney any space to return. Warriors will take over on their 20-yard line.
Here's that kick again, and just go over to the left-hand side. It's a beautiful take by Hegney, and then you can see the coverage there. Really nice. Just not overcommit, track your runner, drag him down. Great job.
So Nick Jackett again on first down, drops back to pass off play action. He puts the ball up top, and he had a man, but he didn't get his head around quick enough, did Luke Benjamin Mbemba. Otherwise, that could have gone for 6.
Trying to go deep, but the receiver just didn't see the ball, as you said, Matt. It was good, close, tight coverage, but it was beautifully thrown ball. They will come back to that.
Absolutely, and use that run to set up the pass. They tried their little play action there on first down. Raymond Sabawali behind Nick Jackett, and that's going to be possibly a false start. Not sure who moved first. Could be going against the Titans, this one, for encroachment.
Yeah. Illegal snap. Number 71 of the Warriors. That's a 5-yard penalty. It remains second down.
Illegal snap call.
Yeah, sometimes you pick the ball up or double pump the ball. You know, it's a motion that the defense will respond to. And so even though you didn't get the ball back to the quarterback, that will be considered illegal snap. A couple of errors now on both these offensive lines.
Absolutely, and you begin to think at the moment, early game jitters for these Warriors. 2nd and 15 now. Jackett and the London outfit. Looks a little option play, but he decides to keep that himself and then immediately regrets that decision as he runs into Jack Watson, number 55.
He's all over the field, Jack Watson, isn't he? And he's playing really well so far, a number of tackles. And he's going to need to continue to do that throughout this game against this running offense of the Warriors.
So another 3rd and long for Jackett. Inside his own 15-yard line as well, so plenty of pressure on this play. 4 receivers, twins either side. Let's see if the Titans bring any pressure. They just bring 5 men, and Jackett goes up top, and again, receiver doesn't get his head round quite quick enough, and in fact that ball was slightly behind the intended receiver, and that's another 3 and out for the Warriors.
Ben and Bemba, again, they're trying to get the ball to him. That's the 3rd target. Jackett's gone to him, but 3 incomplete passes. And he's just speaking to his assistant coach on the sideline. They're just out of sync a little bit, these Warriors, on the passing game. They're getting that running game going, but the Titans are also now beginning to make plays. You never want to get behind the sticks, and that's where they find themselves on this 4th down.
Alex Eager and Sam Fossey stand at just inside their own 40, and it's a high spiraling kick that's going to bounce, and it's going to kick back in favour of the Titans, and they will get their best starting field position of the afternoon, close to midfield at about their own 46.
So finally they managed to get themselves out of the shadow of their own goalpost to the Titans, and we'll see what they can do here. That quick passing game's working for the Titans, and they got a couple of runs. They're a smart offense and they're a big offensive line, and they're making some inroads now into this Warrior defense.
3 possessions each, Cole, 6 punts. 1 3 and out for both teams. A couple of more sustained drives from each outfit as well. Bloomfield in the offense go to work once again. Ball is handed off on 1st down. Jinks and Jukes trying to look for some daylight in those A-gaps, but nothing doing once again for the running game of the Titans.
It's like an immovable object meets an irresistible force, isn't it? They just stand each other up on the side, on the line of scrimmage. Both these teams, big guys.
Trips to his left this time. If I was a betting man, this one was either coming out of Bloomfield's hands very quickly, and there it is, and it's complete for a pickup of 6. And they hits Bamba once again. Bamba comes up gingerly holding his ribs and then goes down pretty much immediately. Maybe just had the wind knocked out of him on that one. Immediately hit as he made the reception.
Yeah, he took a shot. It's the best thing to do is to go down and just get your breath. Just check, take an audit of yourself, see that you're okay. Get the medic out if you need to. Well, this is fascinating early on. It's going back and forth, and a lot of people, I think, expected the London Warriors to come out and just blast their way through the Titans. It must have been frustrating for the Warriors to be down against Tamworth, and the feeling was psychologically that maybe they'd woken up a bit. You know, the Tamworth Phoenix had awoken the beast, so to speak, because the Warriors went down so much in that half-time, but came back to win that game 28-21. But so far the Titans have matched them, and as you say, Matt, 6 drives and 3 punts each.
So this is game 2 of this BRITBOWL weekend, and you can see from screen there, pretty good attendance here at the New River Stadium in North London on this Sunday afternoon. And here's the story of the afternoon so far. So Nick Jackett rather handing off to what has been pretty much the Warriors offense this afternoon so far. In fact, that was Jackett taking it himself. But Raymond Sabolus
just trying to get that running game going any way they can, aren't they? An example there of Jackett holding onto the ball with the option of flipping it out. Back to the live action.
Here we go then, 3rd down. Bamber off the field for this particular play as Bloomfield takes a low snap and it's handed off, and Tom Jones tries to jink and juke, and he does get a Manchester 1st down. Nice work, but good blocking as well out in front. Number 17, Scott Higgins, providing some cover for the Manchester running back.
They block well to these Titans out in the flats to free up their running backs, and they have a good stable of running backs. Variety of different backs you'll see on this Saturday evening.
So in 10 games this year, the Warriors are 10-0. The Titans 9-1 as the ball is handed off to Jones again. There's a huge gap up the middle. Lovely little trap play, which gets burst open for at least 12-13 yards, and the Titans are rolling.
So you take advantage of an aggressive defensive line. Just a little delay. Bloomfield very clever with his hands. Just stands the ball up, looks like he's going to pass it, then drops it back into Thomas Jones's chest, and away you go. Nice play.
Thomas Jones finding some success between the tackles during this series. Bloomfield in the offense look to the sideline. Audible comes in, or does it? Hand off again to Jones, and this time Jones is met almost immediately by Niall Scott Grant and a welcoming committee.
There's some handbags now.
Yep.
There's some big hits going in there. Both these teams want to establish dominance at that line of scrimmage, and so it was Big 95 that piled in afterwards, just pushing one of those blue jerseys back onto the pile and saying, yeah, I'm right here, run it again straight at me.
As you mentioned, Cole, some big human beings out there this afternoon on both sides of the ball. Man in motion for Bloomfield. Bloomfield rolls to his left, throws back across his body, and that floats over the head of Chris Winrow. Once again, Chris Winrow, another GB wide receiver, transferred from the Yorkshire Rams. Been on the national team from 2021 to present.
Same play from Bloomfield that time. They've doubled the amount of practices and film study, these Titans, when they got into the playoffs, both against Bristol and against London Warriors. They've really scripted as much as they can, but they haven't been able to complete on that one yet.
Winrow in motion once again, giving Bloomfield an idea about defensive coverage. Bloomfield looks to his left, comes back to his right, and that little receiver bubble screen. And again, a very positive play. This time, Max Gracie Ainscoe is the recipient of the Bloomfield pass, and it's going to be enough to pick up another Manchester 1st down.
Smart by Titans, very, very clever. It's Craig Oliphant that's out there in front of that jailbreak screen, just giving it out to a receiver back in behind that line of scrimmage from his number 2 position on the field, and he picks up the 1st down.
Twins left and right this time on 1st down for Bloomfield. New running back behind him is Jonathan Pangago. Pangago, my apologies for pronunciation. And Bloomfield this time out to the far side again. Hicks. Gracie Ainscoe once again. 7 completions to 2 incompletions so far for the Manchester quarterback. And that short passing game proving really effective and actually taking the aggressiveness of this Warriors defense away.
Yeah, and you're just waiting for Bloomfield to go over the top as well. Those comeback passes are working, but that threat of going over the top of this Warriors defense is always there when Bloomfield's in charge.
Bamber back on the field in motion. Ball handed off this time. And Pangago picks up close to a first down. Might need a measurement, it's that close. And that is the end of the first quarter right there, Carl, which is absolutely flown by.
Wow, that is quick.
But
It's been good, hasn't it? Some big hits going in, both these teams trying to establish a running game. But the Titans, I'd give the Titans that if this was a boxing competition. Round 1 on points.
I quite agree, and if nothing else, the fact that on their 4th drive, which is the one that's currently ongoing, from their own 46-yard line, they've marched nearly 50 yards. Very close.
Here's some of those runs by Thomas Jones early on. They're trying to establish this running game. There's Big 95 piling in on 71, trying to establish that dominance. Here's Bloomfield going short to Ainscuff, just picking up those yards where he needs to, taking what the defence gives him. And again to the sideline, very clever in just settling in front of those defensive backs so they have to close quickly on the ball. That's what we've seen for the Titans. They're getting their running game going. Bloomfield's playing well, he's being accurate. And so far, the Titans are effective on offense.
Now, after a long drive like this, the worst thing that could happen is you end up with no points at the end of it. So important for the Titans to make sure they make some impact on the scoreboard at this visit. If nothing else, just to maintain that momentum. Trips left for Bloomfield. As once again, the whole blue machine look to the sideline for further instruction. Ball is up, handed off, it's Jones. Thomas Jones inside the 10. It was given as a first down, so 1st and goal becomes 2nd and goal. I don't know about you, Cole, but I think pounding up the middle is probably playing to the Warriors' strength a little.
When the pitch gets squeezed like this, yeah, you've got less space on the field effectively, and you want to get wide if you can, just because that's where the space is if you're an offense.
2nd and goal, Bamber in motion. Thomas Jones waits. He knows if his number's been called on this one, but it hasn't as he rolls to his right. Pops the ball over the top, and it's in and out of the hands of a Warrior defender. Number 24 for the Warriors. Samuel Obi had a shot at that one.
Warriors played that really well. They're trying to get a pick of the Titans. They have twins to the bottom of the screen, and then they're trying just to get Bloomfield with the play action, roll out and release late. But the Warriors didn't let them release off that line of scrimmage. And so you ended up with the Warriors having a better opportunity at the ball than anyone else in blue.
3rd and goal from the 9-yard line. This could be a critical point in this game as early on as it is. And that's timeout called by the Manchester Titans. Once again, Carl, if we look back on the Titans season, they finished level 9-1 with the Tamworth Phoenix. But by
timeout, Titans.
The nature of the points differential, they finished top
4 seconds,
and with a number 1 seed in the Prem North, which meant they went on to face the Bristol Aztecs. You covered that one as well, Carl. And they ran out the Titans 32-27 winners. In 10 regular season games, Bloomfield and the Titans amassed 510 points and conceded 81. 510 points in 10 games.
Yeah, they can really rack up the points, but not on that play. Just watching on the replay how the Warriors are defending that short pass on the goal line. Warriors will have done their homework as well. They know what Bloomfield wants to do, and they defended that really well. Now, I think the Titans taking this early time out, very early stages of Q2, you don't know how many opportunities you're going to get down here deep inside Warrior territory. And if you are down here, Matt, as you said, you at least want the field goal, but ideally you want to get some points on the board against this tough Warrior team.
So here we go, 3rd and goal from the 9. Bloomfield with 2 receivers either side. He's going to the air, pump fakes, then over the top, he's got Bamber! Touchdown, Titans! No flags. The opening score of BRITBOWL 34 goes to the team from the Northwest.
Wow, who would have expected that? That's incredible, and they bit on it. And we're expecting coming into this game. We saw it against the Giants. We saw it against Bristol. The little pump fake by Bloomfield just sucks that defender in, and the receiver goes over the top. Bamber, so clever. Here it is. Watch Bloomfield. There it is. The little twitch. Defender bites. Bamber over the top, and it means that James Amar can't recover. Titans 6, Warriors nothing. We have a game.
GB quarterback to GB receiver. Bodes well for the national game as well, if you were listening to Coach Scott in our pre-game show. And the extra point is up and good. And it's the Titans that take a 7-0 lead in the second quarter. Now the interesting thing will be, can their defense continue the start they've had? And it should come as no surprise, Carl, because during the regular season, the Titans had 4 shutouts. And obviously we're talking about the Premiership North, containing the Edinburgh Wolves, the Sandwell Steelers, the Merseyside Nighthawks, the Sheffield Giants. Some would argue that not necessarily the same calibre of teams as the South has to contend with. And if you're looking at those particular comparisons, the Warriors had 2 shutouts, only conceded 3 points in another one, 2 points in a further one. So both these defenses know how to stifle opposing offenses. But yeah, 7-0 Titans. Who'd have thunk it?
It's going to where the Tamworth game went, isn't it, so far? I mean, Tamworth pulled out to an early lead and it just woke the Warriors up. But let's see whether they wake up on this drive.
Ball fielded at the 3-yard line. A little bit of running room. Spins out of one tackle. Does Luke Hegney. And then falls down to the 22. Or the 23. 22-yard line it is. Let's see if the Warriors can respond.
Last time we saw the Warriors back in 2019, it was Jerome Allen at the QB position. He's now moved to offensive coordinator for this team, so no longer playing in that QB, and that critical position for the Warriors now being taken over by number 12, who's coming on the field, as you can see there, Nick Jackett. And he's done okay so far, but no points on the board. He'll be keen to put his mark down here.
Titans show blitz, and they go for a little jet sweep to the Warriors, and they tries to find the edge and does, and picks up good positive yardage on first down. Number 49 is Tyrese Johnson-Fisher.
Yeah, trying something else. They've got the big legs of Sobowale, and they've got quick legs of Johnson-Fisher coming in on the end around. Nice pickup on first down.
Bloomfield 8 out of 11 so far through the air, with that 1 touchdown to Bamba. 2nd and 4. Jackett back, got his man again, but it's in and out of the hands. Didn't secure that football before he turned upfield, and that's a basic receiving error by Hegney.
Yeah, Jackett been let down a couple of times by receivers just dropping footballs. Can't afford to do it. 7-0 down. Time to get your eye in.
Bloomfield 8 out of 11, whereas Jackett is 1 out of 7 so far through the air. 3rd and 4, maybe even close to 5. Jackett drops back to pass again, and he's under pressure. He has to scramble, tries to find some room, but there's no room at the in, and he takes the punishment. Great pressure, collapsing the pocket. Number 49, amongst others, is Chris Peel.
Yeah, Chris Peel and Cady again, number 94, big number 94. Cady making Chris Peel and others. That's the 2nd sack of the day that the Titans have inflicted on this Warriors offensive line. Jackett having a terrible time passing back there.
So on comes the punt team once again. Those 2 returners back on their own 30-yard line. This one is sliced and holds up in the wind, and it takes a Warriors bounce, and then he's attempted to be returned off the bounce, which isn't overly advisable. And I think the Titans might have gotten away with one there and fallen on that one, but I think it was Alex Eager who, with a Warrior on his back, decided to let that ball bounce, then try and field it. And indeed, the Titans do secure possession. But a heart-in-the-mouth moment there for the Northwest.
It was Jonathan Bentel that managed to recover the football. You'll see here it's slightly off the outside of this right-handed kicker. You can see there's the pickup there. It's a dangerous pickup. Number 18 just knocks it away, and Bentil right there on the spot to use his body and shield it from that closing Warriors player.
And Alex Eager will be buying him a pint later. Say thanks for that, mate. As Bloomfield fakes that jet sweep, then comes off to the left-hand side for Jones. And Jones has got daylight in front of him at the 30, the 20, the 10. No flags. Touchdown, Manchester Titans.
Wow. Tom Jones off a huge hole on the left-hand side. And look at the Titans celebrate. They've been doing this all year, celebrating. They weren't intimidated coming in against the Warriors. You give us our shot. We've been building this program for years, and they deserve to be here. And they're now 2 scores up against what looks like a stunned Warrior side, the North, with the early blood.
And John and our presenters at the start of the show mentioned about how things were clouding over, but the sun has come out all of a sudden here, not only in North London but also for the Titans, as the kick is up and good. 14-0 in favour of the Manchester Titans. BRITBOWL 34, New River Stadium, London, on the first weekend in September here. Carl, if nothing else, it's going to be a cracking last couple of quarters.
Here's the run. There's the hole. Quick feet by Tom Jones, looking behind him, and he's thinking, is there anyone there? There's no one there. Turn on the afterburners, and all the way for that touchdown. 50-yard run for Tom Jones into the end zone. Now, if you're just joining us, you may be shocked to see the Titans are up, but your eyes do not deceive you. Titans are playing well. They're driving hard, and they are the better team so far in this game. Tony Allen, I've seen him wandering up and down the sideline. He still looks relaxed, Matt.
Well, he's got so much experience, hasn't he, Connor? You said before the Tamworth Phoenix were up on the Warriors. What's the whistle for there?
It's a strange one there because the ball was in the air.
Yeah. Did he fair catch signal, I think? I think that's what they're suggesting. There may as well have been a fair catch called. And obviously, once you signal for a fair catch, you can't then advance it. I think, personally, he was putting his arm up to block the sun. And as a result, the official, Mr. Yates, saw that as a fair catch. I don't know if we can get a replay on that.
I think you're right. It's the only explanation I can come up with.
But like I was saying earlier on, you mentioned about Tony Allen looking calm still. They were down early against the Phoenix and came back to win that one. Tony Allen's got so much experience in the British game over the years. He won't start worrying just yet. We know that for a start. Let's listen to our referee if we're going to get an explanation. Here we go.
The ruling was a fair catch during a free kick. A fair catch inside the 20-yard line. Comes back to the 20-yard line. First down.
That's exactly what it was. In trying to shield his eyes from the sun, it was deemed he was waving for a fair catch.
Here it is here. You can see, well, I don't know. It does look like his arm was not just static, but in motion there. And that does look like a fair catch symbol. I think the ref's got that one right.
So everything going the way of the Titans at the moment, but a nice, great play. It looked like that was going to open up for Jermaine Allen. But then out of nowhere came linebacker Joe Partington, number 54, to sniff that one out.
The linebackers are really doing well for the Titans. They're roaming between the tackles. We've seen good plays from 54 Joe Partington and Jack Watson to track these runners down before they get the momentum up.
Yeah, not only have the Warriors been here before and been in holes before, but if you think back to that game you commented on, the semi-final with the Titans were up big early and the Apache came back and made that one close in the end. There's a little dump-off pass looking for a little screen to Jermaine Allen, but that's well defended once again by that Manchester defensive front.
Connor Hewitt, Katie Makin, 93-94 for this Titans big blue defensive line. Say no, no, no. You have to throw it over our heads. And all the momentum now with this, with these Titans. Look here, watch 93 there. Just there's the tip, and a great job by him. You've got to get those big paws up in those throwing lanes.
Fantastic awareness as well, rushing the quarterback, knowing you're not going to necessarily get there, understanding that that running back has gone past you and may well be settling for that little screen.
Good coaching, Matt.
And then keeping that head up and getting those big hands up, like you said. Jacket goes down to the right-hand side, and that's out of the reach of Luke Benjamin Mbemba. And that's going to be 3 and out once again for these Warriors.
They just can't get anything going on third down. They're struggling, are these Warriors, to convert. The Titans are doing a better job than they did early on first and second down, and it means that every time they get to these third down, it's 3rd and 6, it's 3rd and 7, it's 3rd and 8, and they're just not being able to convert.
Here we go, Carl. How's this for depressing reading for the Warriors? 5 drives. First drive, own 37, punt. Second drive, starting on the Titans 43, punt. Third drive, 3 and out from their own 20. Fourth drive, punt, starting on their own 23. And that last drive, starting on their own 20, 3 and out, punt. Credit to the Titans.
And credit to you, Matt, for keeping those stats. Nice job. And it does tell the story really, really well. 6 drives. Very little to show for it for this Warrior offense so far.
And on the flip side, from the 5 drives of the Titans, the first 2 ended in punts. The third one was similar, and then we had the 10-yard pass. Starting on their own 46-yard line, the Titans drove down, and Bloomfield found Bamba 10 yards away for the opening TD. And then on their next drive, starting from their own 45, 1 play, 55-yard scamper for Thomas Jones puts us with the scoreline we have at the moment. And Bloomfield back to work once again. Rolls to his right. Oh, and that's in and out of the hands of James Armour. And he puts his hands to his head, because that could have been a pick 6 and turned this one completely around.
Bloomfield does like to do that. He just rolls out and he's going to slide out, kind of sidearm it, like almost like a baseball pitcher. But that was a dangerous one.
We saw one earlier, didn't we, in the under-19 game where the eventual MVP, Savaris, it was one fired at him like that, and he managed to snag that ball and take it back for 6. But not this time for the Warriors. Handoff this time, and there's another lovely inside handoff, which is successful for Jonathan Pangargo and gives them a manageable 3rd and short.
Pangargo has been a really good player for this team over the season. He's been one of their stalwart running backs. He started out with the Titans juniors in 2011 and played in Finland and a range of different places. He's been great. Here's Bloomfield to Bamba on that right-hand side this time. And there's that push. That offensive line are going to shove it forward for the first. I tell you what, they've come to play these Titans, and that's what they do with this big offensive line, and they want to get that momentum going, and they shove Bamba forward for the first down.
I'll tell you what, that shows some dynamism, doesn't it? They've ripped off a 55-yard sprint from Thomas Jones. They've gone down through the air with the quick passes, and now they show the power of that offensive line and what it means to these Titans. First down at their own 46-yard line. Another set of 4. Winrow in motion. Oh, close to being fumbled on the exchange to the halfback. But Pangargo manages to secure possession and fall forward for a pickup of a couple.
Played for the Spanish national team in 2018, did Pangargo. The man you're looking at on the screen. Did well to handle that. What surprised me is the way these Titans match up physically with these Warriors.
And like you said, Carl, I completely agree, and it's a case of can they sustain this. You look at the strength in depth and the bench on both teams, and you would argue that they've got every chance to, as that ball against is slung sidearm by Bloomfield, expecting Bamba to come back to him. And Bamba kind of just carried on up the sideline. 3rd and long upcoming.
He's got a couple of options there, Bloomfield. We've seen in previous games, you can either sling it short or just pump fake it, wait for Bamba to go deep and then get him over the top, as he did on the touchdown. And sometimes they get it right, and it's like a great piece of music. Sometimes they get it wrong. 3rd and long.
The wind picks up as Bamba goes in motion. Bloomfield needs to be careful if he's going to air this one out in 3rd and 8. You would expect he probably wouldn't. It's a low snap. And that could work in their favour as Thomas Jones manages to pick that ball up. And the result is a first down. And I tell you what, if you're going to go and see the head coach, if you're going to have a chat with Jonathan Homer, he's going to go, yep, just how I drew that one up.
When the things are going your way, Matt, everything goes your way. The football gods are smiling on these Titans at the moment. Poor snap. But Thomas Jones rather on that one. Picks it up, first down into Warrior territory again.
Good smart thinking and not panicking from Jones. Wasn't necessarily expecting the ball to him in that way. The way the hole opened up, it may well have been the intention to get it to him. As Bloomfield rolls and goes over the top, and he's got Bamber, and Bamber's at the 10-5. Touchdown, Manchester Titans. 42 yards to pay dirt. Carl, this wasn't in the script.
Well, we're all saying slightly stunned. Where are the London Warriors? 21-0 to the Titans. And Bloomfield to Bamber, that hook up again. Here it is, pump fake, the little twitch, and over the top. What a beautifully lofted pass from Bloomfield. And Bamber says, it's on me, baby. Give me the ball. 21-0 Titans.
20 at the moment. Don't jump the gun. Still got this extra point to come. But Aaron Ainsworth-Bocott has been successful on his last 2 attempts. The snap is down, kick is up. And Cole, you may need to buy a lottery ticket.
21-0 Titans.
Goodness.
I love it when Bemcott makes me correct, because he has done all season long. He hardly ever misses. He's a fabulous kicker.
Now, let's have a look down to Coach Allen on the sideline. Is he still looking as cool?
He's still holding his water. I reckon when Tony chucks that water on the ground, things will begin to change.
He's like a prowling alpha, isn't he? Asking questions of his DBs as they come off the field.
He's reasonable right now, but another score and you're really going to wake the lion.
Goodness me, 21-0 Titans. And with all due respect to the Manchester team, I don't think anybody in BRITBOWL expected this. I know we were talking beforehand, and our score predictions, I think, were a little conservative, to say the least. But hey, there's Mr. Allen.
There he is.
Still sipping the water, still looking relatively calm.
He's hydrating.
Penny for your thoughts, coach. So, drive number 6 for the Warriors. Starting on their own 34. But you'd think now they really need to try and find some momentum and get themselves into this one here in the second quarter of BRITBOWL 34. Ball handed off. It's not. It's a little read option. And the D-end crashed down on the handoff, and Jacket did really well to notice that and pick up 5.
You called it, Matt, run option. They tried it earlier on, and Jacket got pummeled in the backfield. That time he does get a little bit of space to move and shift. It's a really good pick-up on second down. This is where they've struggled. Second and kind of mid-yardage, and then on third down they've struggled. So let's see if they can get something going here. Ray's back on the field.
He is, Sabawale. And Sabawale takes the handoff, trucks one man and carries on going. And starts falling at the 44 and doesn't hit the ground until the 49.
I love watching him run. Just keeps going, keeps trucking. Such a big man, but such a great athlete as well. All muscle. And he's got determination in him. Now, when he came off in that first quarter, you notice he was limping a little bit. I think they've been trying to spare him, but they need you, Ray.
Well, he delivers on that second down play. Just yard shy of midfield for Jacket. Jacket rolls to his left, throws across his body. He's got a man, completes it. And Taylor Burke fights off the first defender. And it's a nice passing catch for a pickup of 3. Only Jacket's second completion of the afternoon.
Yeah, so they're taking a little play out of the Titans playbook, aren't they, by rolling Jacket out of that pocket. Remember, he's been sacked twice, and that pressure's coming late as receivers don't seem to be getting open. So why not roll the offensive line? Why not put Big Ray in front of Nick? Give him an opportunity to have a bit more space and time to make these plays.
Trips to the right. Sabawali in the backfield. And there's another play out of the Titans playbook. That little jailbreak screen once again. And again, good enough to convert. Pick up 7, which will get another Warriors first down. And here we go.
That's Mbemba's first catch, I believe. They weren't connecting earlier on, but now they are bringing him into the game. Sabawali in the game, Mbemba in the game. Getting the ball to your best athletes on the field, that's the way to come back.
And it's got to be the one play at a time mindset for the Warriors, hasn't it? Ignore the fact that we're 3 scores down. One play, Jacket goes up top, and that's way out of reach of his intended receiver, who that time was Luke Hegney.
Nice coverage by the Titans, not letting that four-vert play get behind them. Hegney with no chance. Now this is a critical down to keep in front of the sticks. And if I'm the Warriors, I'm giving this one to Sabawali.
I think you're right. You've got to, like you say, you've got to give some. Oh! But unfortunately that time, Sabawali's not in the backfield. It's Jermaine Allen who does the Titans' job for them and takes out his own quarterback. And like you said earlier, Carl, when things are going your way, things are going your way.
Well, that was all on the Warriors. I mean, you know, the Titans, they're doing their job, but you can't have mistakes like that on a critical down. Lucky it was second down and not third. 3rd and 13. Everyone in the Warriors needs to just take a deep breath here.
Allen remains in the backfield with those 4 receivers, 2 either side, and here comes the pressure. Jacket has got a man, but once again, I think that's going to be called incomplete, in fact.
Yeah, that was a beautifully timed play.
Sam Fossey on the coverage.
Yeah, Fossey coming in. He's such an old veteran and played that perfectly. Just as the ball arrived, he arrived and just knocks it loose. No gain. 3rd down. Jacket's still in. 21-0 down in your opponent's own half. 4th down.
So
here we go.
They actually did call that a catch. So 4th and 6. And now I wonder whether or not there wants to be some sort of challenge as to whether it was a catch or not.
It looked like that ball got knocked out.
It did to me. Referee Brian Yates is going to chat with us. He's waiting for instruction. Here we go.
My time. The previous play is under further review.
Yeah, it'd be good to get a look at this if we can as well, up in the booth.
So it did, like you say, on first glance, it did appear from our vantage point, and our commentary position is over the far side of the field, but it did appear that that ball was knocked out as soon as the receiver made the catch. It looked like Fossey was there simultaneously and knocked that ball away. Tony Allen obviously hoping that's not the case. Jonathan Homer.
After further review, instant replay has ruled the pass incomplete. It is 4th down.
I think that's the right call as well. You know, instinctively, if you've watched enough football, it's like a bang-bang play, isn't it? Ball hit the hands.
Well, I mean, it wasn't that. It seemed pretty obvious to me. I'm not sure quite what happened because we saw the ball bouncing around on the far sideline, even from our position here. But good call in the end. It's going to bring up 4th down, and it will bring up punt.
Alex Eager and Fossey back inside their own 10. Low snap. Good kick, but that's, I say, a good kick. That's out. Oh, it's bounced in the end zone. Very close. Thought that for a minute had bounced on about the 3-inch line and was going to bounce back into the field of play for the Warriors, but once again, not quite going their way. 10 incompletions now for Nick Jackett, only 3 successful passes to his receivers, and well, Titans get another shot.
They do, and this is the way the game against Bristol went for the Titans. I didn't expect this to go the same way as the Bristol game by any means. I thought the Titans were favourite coming in against Bristol. I didn't think they were favourites coming in against the Warriors. But you have to watch now whether the Titans lose that focus and concentration. They're 3 scores up. They need to keep piling on the pressure. They know these Warriors can come back. Now, can you keep your heads when you're 3 scores up in a final?
Trips to the right. Winrow in motion. Ball up the middle again. That same play which has been so successful. Looks like the Warriors trying to rip the ball out at the end there, but Thomas Jones does a great job holding on to it and securing the first down.
Just if you're wondering which way momentum is going, watch the way the pile moves. And at the moment, it's those big offensive blue linemen that are coming in and moving that pile each time it gets held up.
And the story of this first half, Carl, has been Titans defense, but also GB quarterback, GB running back, GB receiver in Bloomfield, Jones and Bamber. First down, Manchester. Ball handed off once again, and another lovely little step, and a yard on that one for Jones.
Well, this is what the Titans need to do. They need to keep running the ball, keep the ball safe. What happened against the Aztecs was, having gone 3 scores up, Bloomfield was still hurling the ball around, throwing the ball, a couple of picks, and Aztecs were back in it. But this time they seem to have learnt their lesson. Let's see what they do on second down.
Same formation. 3 receivers to the wide side of the field for Bloomfield, and once again he fakes the handoff and goes up top, and he's got a man again over the top, and a great touchdown saving tackle by Reese Waller. But number 13, Max Gracie Ainscoe, with another perfectly flighted ball, hit him in stride. First down, Titans.
Hats off to you, Bloomfield. You're on point today, sir, certainly in this first half. The accuracy of his passes, especially those ones over the top, have been something to watch. Here's the replay. Play action. Lofts it. Just beautiful, because the receiver can just run straight under it. DB hasn't got a chance because he's got good coverage, just half a step behind. Nothing you can do if the balls are that perfect.
So first down at the Warriors' 30-yard line as the September sun begins to set, and that won't make things easy at the end of this first half for the Warriors either, as they're staring straight into that big ball of fire, as well as the ball of fire that's facing them on the offense at the moment with the Titans. First down. Oh, too high for Bamber. Ten out of 16 Bloomfield currently, 2 TDs. 1 rushing TD on the ground for Jones, as opposed to the Warriors, 6 possessions, 6 punts. 3 out of 13 Jackett for the London outfit. 2nd and 10. Bloomfield rolls again. He looks initially through his back and then manages to drop down to his second read, who is Scott Higgins, who picks up close to a first down. But it'll be 3rd and short.
Yeah, they're just running either trips or twins to the bottom of that field, and when they roll Bloomfield out, he's got his pick, whoever's open. One goes deep, one goes short. Bloomfield takes a look, made the right decision on that play.
Pangago predictably gets the ball up the middle and looks from our point like he's got enough for a first down. No signal yet from our officials, but the chains are moving. I think it's fair to say that Bloomfield, quite an unconventional quarterback, not only with his number, 21, not often you see quarterbacks with anything over the number 19, but also with that Rowe in action.
That is a 2-minute warning. 2 minutes left in the first half.
Titans are going to want to get another score on the board here. I mean, Bloomfield, if you look at his stats for the year, 256 attempts, 168 completions, 65.6% average, over 2,200 yards thrown, 43 touchdowns, only 10 interceptions all year long. And he's a veteran. He's been around a very long time now in the game. Currently, GB adults quarterback as well. So great to see him when he's hot as he is today.
First down at the 2-minute warning. Bloomfield looks right and comes back to his left. Nice, another completion for Bloomfield. This time to Gracie Ainscoe.
Those, when you get them right, they're just like long handoffs into the flat, aren't they? You get an opportunity just to move the space, move where the offense's point of attack is. And then defenders having to rally to the flats to defend them. And the Titans spend a lot of their time in the flats, the short passes in the flats, little screen passes, jailbreak screens. Whole bunch of different options they have to move this ball around.
Yeah, I mentioned quite an unorthodox throw motion for Bloomfield kind of slings the ball sidearm almost. And this time he's going over the top and he's got Bamber again! Oh, in and out of the hands. Great defensive play that time by Daniel McKenzie, saving a 4th touchdown for the Titans and a 3rd for Bamber.
I haven't seen that before. I hadn't seen that in any of the 3 games I've watched so far. That motion from Bamber, and then it's a kind of slant to the outside, almost like a dagger motion. And that was very nearly their 4th touchdown on the board.
He had it for a moment, didn't he? But great play by McKenzie to keep the Titans knocking on the door. Handed off this time, and Jones tries to get away, gets away once, gets away a second time, then the ball's knocked out. And I think that was Bloomfield that knocked it out as he went past him. And the Warriors get their first break of the afternoon. And have they got enough time to try and claw something back before the end of this first half?
They needed that, the Warriors. They needed something to break for them. It was Haldine Alexander that came up with the ball. Sorry, Alexander Haldine that came up with the football. Finally, the Warriors get a break. Let's take a look. It's Thomas going to his left, then back against the grain, and just looked like he clashed with his own player. And Haldine was there to scoop up the ball and says, thank you very much. We needed that. Let's see whether they can do anything with it. Less than 2 minutes in this half.
First down, ball handed off. It's not. Jacket keeps it again, and he's got room at the middle, and he trucks the safety to the point where he knocks his helmet off and then jumps up and signals timeout. Great start to the drive from Jacket.
And it's the final. It's the final. The quarterbacks are going to put their heads down.
Well, what happened to sliding quarterbacks? Here's referee Brian Yates.
Number 12.
And that is timeout called by the Warriors. And they have a chance.
Here's that run by Jacket. Loads of space. Fossey closes there. And there's the big hit. And number 28 got his helmet knocked off, but he does make the tackle. Jacket with the quick timeout, thinking fast. All of these Warriors are big players, including their QB.
If you remember, the Warriors won the toss and deferred at the start of the game, so they will get the ball at the opening of the second half, which makes this possession even more important. If they can somehow find a way into the end zone here and then get possession at the beginning of the second half, all of a sudden it becomes a 21-14 game. And that's how quickly this sport can change around. That fumble by Jones, just when you thought.
There's 52 seconds left in the half. That is a second charge timeout.
Yeah, so 15 seconds left in the half, so not a great deal of time for the Warriors. But that just shows you how important McKenzie, that break up by McKenzie in the end zone to Bamber actually was.
Yeah, it really was important, Matt. Here we go.
Jacket keeps again, and he's got space once again. And there's a flag down. And that will be, I think, against the Warriors, where that flag was thrown, particularly on a running play. Either a block in the back or a hold against the Warriors. Let's see. Referee Yates will soon give us the information we require.
During the run, we have holding number 11, Warriors. 10 yards, front flag, still first down.
Such a shame for London. Jacket executing that run option, read option play so well on the last 2 plays. But not only does it push them back, but obviously time is of the essence right now as well. 21-0, Manchester Titans against the London Warriors. No, that isn't a misprint on the screen. The Warriors yet to score in BRITBOWL 34. Jacket looking again, looks up top, he's going up top, he's got a man, and that man makes the catch, and he's still on his feet at the 20, the 10, the 5, touchdown, no flags. Luke Hegney right at the death, and just like that, the Warriors are back in it. That's why Tony Allen didn't look worried.
It's all in the plan, just here to entertain us. What a great way to light up the end of this first half. Hegney with a real ripping run down the sideline there, and Jacket puts it right on him. That was a beautifully thrown ball, and these Warriors are going to pull within 2 scores.
Nearly 70 yards. That's run and catch, or catch and run rather. Kick is up. And the kick is good. 21-7. And just like that, don't look away, because the Warriors aren't done yet.
Warriors have always had a potent, deep passing attack of their own. Here's the replay. You're watching the top of your screen. Jacket doesn't take his eyes off him, does he? He just sees him get past those defenders. 1, 2, 3, and off to the races. And even fast Ricardo Delva can't catch him. Helga for the first score for these Warriors. Hegney, rather.
Luke Hegney. And how important is that break up in the end zone now from Mackenzie to Bamber?
Every play counts now for these Warriors as they try and get back into this game. Now, look at this scoreline. Titans 21, Warriors 7. In the semi-final, what was the scoreline at the end of the half? I believe it was Phoenix 21, Warriors 7, if I'm not mistaken.
I think you might be right, Cole. The Warriors will be calmly sitting there. Tony Allen, far too experienced to be worrying at this stage, as Fossey takes the kick and is slung down back towards his own 10-yard line. There will still be enough time for the Titans to get a play or 2 off at the end of this first half. But how the momentum has shifted. How that Manchester sideline will now be a little bit anxious. How the confidence of the Warriors, as if they need any more confidence, will suddenly be boosted. And what a cracking second half we've got in store, Carl.
We sure have. Don't go anywhere. I tell you, this could go anyway. Now, if I'm the Titans, I do not want to make a mistake here. I'd take 21-7 at halftime, thank you very much.
Well, you can see the formation they've got. That's take a knee. Bloomfield sensibly, like you say, Cole. Let's not do anything daft. We've got a 14-point lead. If you'd have offered us that before the game started, we'd have bitten your hand off. And I think both sides will confer. And they will, as referee Brian Yates points the ball to the sky to indicate that the first half of BRITBOWL 34 is in the books. Titans 21, Warriors 7. Back down to the studio.
Yeah, so there we go. A halftime score, Titans 21, Warriors 7. And I don't think we predicted that, Tash, Phoebe?
No.
No, you
No.
go ahead first because I know how excited you were for
Oh,
this.
I was screaming, I was shouting, I was up there like, oh my God. I always say I love an underdog. I love an underdog. And when we went off camera, I was like, I kind of hope they win, but like, you know, there's not much chance. And it's exactly what I did with the whole, like, when Tamworth won, I was like, I really hope they win, but you never know, like, they probably won't. And they've just come out. And it is like the momentum completely shifted. The moment they got that first score on the board, that was it. They were in their zone, they were in their flow, and they were just walking all over the Warriors. Like, the Warriors didn't have a chance. And yeah, it was just insane. I was loving it.
Phoebe, we heard in commentary that the Warriors don't have their starting quarterback. How much is that affecting them?
Massively, because D. Williams, who is their starting quarterback, will have played for them this entire season. And now comes in Nick Jackett, he did play when they won in 2019 here again at Tamworth, but it's not the same. He's not had those practice reps that you really need to get. I mean, if any other position on the field, it is definitely
You're getting attacked.
Now you're getting attacked.
Sorry, we're being attacked by a wasp down here.
It's like a very friendly wasp there.
But it's definitely a key role. You have to get that relationship, that timing, your quarterback receiver going on. But I would say, you know, Warriors are a team that always do themselves in terms of they haven't changed anything that they've done. They've not adjusted at all. They're just saying, hey, we're bigger, we're better, and we're going to keep running what we run. The biggest surprise I thought is they didn't stick to the run game, which they were very successful with. They also have multiple running backs who they were already switching up, and so that way you had the depth there. I felt that really worked against the Titans, but you know, we said in the beginning, I know Tash said it, the Titans' air game is what they really were able to dominate on, and it's nothing big, right? You got a couple out routes, you had a couple screens, we had a really nice draw at one point, and for them, they've just been consistent at getting those short yardage.
So, I mean, it was all Titans to start with, but towards the end there, we saw that score for the Warriors. How important is that going to be, you know, going into the second half? Because if they went in with nothing on the board, that's psychologically a big deal.
I think that this will give Tony Allen something to actually go in positively about. However, we know that halftime chat is not going to be good, and like, as much as they got that last drive, they have not been the Warriors that people know. They have not been performing the way that people know them to perform, and you know the coaches are not going to stand for that at all.
Phoebe, I've got to mention this because you mentioned it to me in terms of the Warriors touchdown scorer there. This is obviously British American football, American sport. You're American, but it was an Aussie that scored the touchdown.
Massive shout out to Luke Hegney on that one, number 10. We play flag football together, an amazing receiver, and to, you know, as Tash was saying, for him to be able to change that momentum going into the half, that would obviously be a goal of the Warriors. But also, I mean, the O-line on that play, it was beautiful, the way that they held in that pocket for Jackett to be able to get the ball off like that. I mean, I'm really keen to see what happens on the other side. Truthfully, I didn't see many adjustments being made. You could watch just the body language of the Warriors coaches and their players compared to that of the Manchester Titans coaches and players. And for me, there was some shouting going on. That's not what you want to see. You don't want that implosion, but you need to be able to have a coach come in and say, hey, this is what we need to do. This is all that they're doing, and this is how we're going to stop it. So hopefully halftime, those real important conversations are happening.
And how important is it for the Warriors to come out, get the ball and score early on to get back into this game from the start?
Yeah, they have that opportunity, right? So at the moment, we're 21-7. There's a real opportunity for them to catch up, and knowing the kind of athletes they are, we saw Jackett again running the ball a bit more himself, which really caused a lot of confusion for the Titans defense. So you get the run game back going, get some positive passing yards, right? Get those completions, build up the confidence of your Warriors receivers, so therefore you can take those shots downfield. Right now, like Luke Hegney's, his is the only big shot downfield that's been successful, right? So stick to that short passing game.
The great thing is, though, is that they've just had that opportunity, but when you actually look at the situation now, they're starting with the ball. They're starting the second half with the ball. The Titans are kicking to them. Yeah. So actually, they've got that momentum. Carry that momentum forward.
Straight away, the first chance. Now we can see some of the highlights. We're going to get Phoebe to talk us through. Titans with the ball here.
What a nice high catch there. I mean, Adam Bamber, I know we had Coach Jason Scott talking about him earlier with GB. I mean, but look at the way that they're hustling, getting outside. I mean, the Titans here are just so excited to be running up against the Warriors. And for me, on that situation, Warriors just need to move your feet, right? They're getting so stagnant, not thinking the Titans are able to do that. I mean, beautiful back shoulder pass there. I mean, Sam Bloomfield, again, GB quarterback. You can't take that away from him. He's playing with 3 of his GB receivers. Now this, at some point, and this is one of the toughest things in football, is you have to realize when you're not just getting any more yards. You're moving laterally more than anything. Give yourself up. And this beautiful one. Look at the O-line here, moving their feet, protecting. Beautiful pass, double coverage, and finishes the ball. A big, strong receiver getting it to the end zone.
Did very well to get away from double coverage there. You mentioned this actually, Tash, earlier, how loud the Titans are on the sideline, and you prepared me and you prepared everyone watching, but they were very, very loud. How off-putting is that when you guys are out on the field playing in a game like this? Are you so in the game that doesn't put you off, or is that something to bear in mind as we watch this second half?
You need to understand the game of football to know when to be loud. So, for example, when you're on the offensive side of the ball, you want people to be quiet. You don't want your teammates, you don't want your supporters saying anything. Because you want to be able to hear the snap, you want to be able to hear the calls, you want to be able to hear if they're changing the play. You want to be able to hear all those adjustments. However, the moment that you're on defense, and that is where the Titans are coming alive, the moment that their defense are on the field, they're shouting, their fans are shouting, you've got the whole crowd kind of coming behind them. And that's because you want the Warriors offense to not be able to, like I just said, hear the adjustments, hear the snap, and make those mistakes. And we started to actually see that. We started to see some calls coming against the Warriors, and we started to see false starts. We started to see those little penalties that actually make a big difference when it comes to you being able to progress positively.
Phoebe, has the game been as physical as we predicted?
In some instances, I think when they're running the ball, people feel like they're getting involved. And we've seen some really great, I think Sam Fossey came in with a great tackle in the backfield. We've seen sacks. We've seen physicality in those instances. But for me, I feel like people are almost stopping the play, right? They're getting there. Nobody's moving. Their feet aren't running. To be fair, the Warriors running backs have done some brilliant jobs when they're, breaking tackles and keep moving. But even then, for me, there's not that explosiveness or that burst that you want to see where you think, it is my life on the line, I need to get to the end zone. And I want that sense of urgency more than I'd say it's a physicality thing all across the board by both sides, really.
Got you. I know we've got the Hall of Fame coming up very soon. I'm not sure if it's entirely ready just yet. I think it might be coming in just a second, I don't know. But in the meantime, if people are watching this now and they've got kids, for example, that are watching this and going, this is incredible, I want to get involved. How can someone go and get involved tomorrow?
So you can go to our British American Football Association website, or we're on all socials, specifically Facebook for us older generation, but definitely Instagram, Twitter. Find a club near you, reach out to anybody here, reach out to the clubs themselves, and they will definitely let you know, hey, come join us. Or a lot of times people are pretty good about saying, oh, we don't have, maybe we don't offer youth, but go check out John's team and see what he can do. Okay, excellent stuff. It's nice to know that it's very accessible. It's becoming more accessible as well. I don't entirely know what's going on here. I think the Hall of Fame is actually going on now. I think we'll hand over to our stadium announcer if we can for the Hall of Fame. It doesn't seem like he's there actually, perhaps. But Phoebe, who are being honoured here in terms of, these are obviously sort of legends of the British game here, and I think you're a future legend of the British game. After we'll talk about the GB achievements in just a second. But thank you. We've got some incredible guys out here right now. Some of them are actually GB under-19s coaches, GB coaches. Some of them are players from back in the day. I know we're announcing them all individually here. But next up, we've got Scott Rowe. He's our GB under-19s head coach. Unbelievable player back in the day. Next to him, Jerry Anderson, who is a legend, played the top tight end in the country by far when he was playing, out working, doing great things for NFL UK at the moment. Just a machine of a player. So this is really just celebrating those players who gave so much to us as a sport, from the 80s and onwards. And back in the 80s, we had NFL Europe, so you've got some ex-NFL Europe players. Yeah. And then just giving them exactly what they deserve, that recognition, and now, the first really inductees into our Hall of Fame.
I was going to say, a lot of people will know about the NFL Hall of Fame, which is a huge deal every year. And Americans, as you know, Phoebe, everything is massive. Even even little ceremonies like this become huge spectacles, and it's not just in football, in basketball, even in WWE. It's a whole event that people go and fill an arena for, and it's nice to see people getting recognised. But this is kind of the Hall of Fame kind of things in UK sport isn't such a massive thing. So it's good to see that, you know, as you say, people are getting recognised after having and putting into so much work into the sport, which has led us to where we are today.
Yeah, and you know, we have a big committee that really decides on who makes it to Hall of Fame, and there's a massive list of people that has to get narrowed down in order to induct them in. And we really don't just look at what their playing career was. What have they done for the sport over the years? You know, how have they helped their community? What are they doing now? So it's a really holistic look at people who are coming and who have really helped us out in the sport. Another couple of our GB Under-19s coaches in there celebrating. It's just great to see. And for these guys, it's great to be back together. I mean, I'm sure that one day yourself or Tash or myself would love to think, hey, actually, people saw what we did and they thought we did a really nice job. And I think everyone nowadays could appreciate that and do with more of that, you know, just telling each other what a good job you've done.
It's like, I mean, you can relate it to any job, can't you? Everyone likes recognition in their job, whether it's Employee of the Month when you're 16 and you're working your first job, or you've had a sterling career doing what they're doing here. So it's really nice to see. It's nice to hear the crowd as well, absolutely on their feet, loving this as well, as the two teams enjoy their break half time and appreciate it, whilst also thinking about that second half coming up.
I think the great thing about the British American Football Hall of Fame is so many university teams already doing Hall of Fames. So they're getting recognised for what they've brought to the sport in regards to university, what they've continued to do that for that university. But actually, this is on that national level. And now some of these guys who are potentially Hall of Famers for their individual teams are now being recognised on that national level. And that's so much bigger because that's never happened before for Britain, and it finally is moving in that direction.
Yeah, and I can't wait. You know, right now I know we're looking at an amazing group of talented men throughout the years, and you know, I know that we've got a couple waves coming up in the next couple of years that will have some pretty incredible women involved, whether from an administrative perspective, refereeing, officiating perspective, or players themselves. You know, for us over here, we make it so that it's 5 years that you have to have been retired as a player in order to be nominated. So for a lot of us, and I know some of the people I've seen on the feed, we've got a bunch of our GB women here. We've got, you know, some of our women that played back in 2013 that have families now out here supporting. So it will be amazing to see those women in the future being recognized as well.
It will, and you've now brought it up, so it's a good time to ask you about the women's GB team and your success in Finland. I mean, absolutely incredible, silver medal. You were part of that team, you were formerly the captain, and now you're just focusing on being a player. Just talk us through what an experience that was.
Oh my goodness, you know, this was such a special time because we were out in Finland and we competed against Canada, beat Canada. We then went on to play USA in the finals, 14-14 at halftime. You know, for me, it's all about the team, and we had people on our team who'd never played 11-a-side football ever in their life. That was our first time ever playing a game in general. So it was so special. We've got a lot of young talent who are coming through the program. I mean, we have a backup quarterback who's 19, and that's exactly what we want to have. We want to have the future of the sport, building them up. And you know, we were 6th seed, and we competed against the 1st seed, and we really dominated for that first half. And I couldn't be more proud of the team. I know we're all so proud of ourselves, and we've had so much support from everybody here in the UK and our British American football community. And I just think, you know, I think for a lot of us it's still a pinch me moment, right? That we were able to achieve that. We play 7-a-side football here in the UK. So to go from 7-a-side, no special teams, to then learning 11-a-side, adding in special teams in a short amount of time, after a brand new head coach of Chris Stone, who's actually one of the coaches for the London Warriors. So to have him come in and really change the culture and everyone buy into that. We always had the saying 3-2-1 is where we wanted to get to, and we did 3, we did 2, we got to 1. So we're achieving things, and we're just going to keep growing.
Absolutely excellent. And I know that some of your teammates are here. We've certainly heard them. They've been very, very vocal every time Phoebe has walked past. It's like, you know, like I know you are a celebrity, but it's like you're, you know, it's like you've gone up to A-list because they're enjoying them. Who have we got here from your team?
Oh man, they are the best hype squad ever, I must say. But you know what, we have so many of our coaches down here, but we've got our O-line. I'm just going to rattle through some names. We've got Vanessa Mansoray, we've got Shay, we've got pretty much Yaz, we've got our QB, so Sydney Green's here as well, one of our coaches, Wayne Hill. We've got one of the Finnish players who's out here celebrating, Antoinette Morgan. I mean, the list goes on, but just women who have been working their butts off, you know, as volunteers, as not professionals, managing children, lives, work, all that incredible stuff, and then going out there and getting themselves a silver medal.
And this, have you haven't got the medal with you, have you?
I don't. I'm really sorry.
If I had a silver medal in anything, it would be in my back pocket the whole time, tied very securely.
I have to say, it was a very nice medal. They were all about being sustainable, which is lovely, but it was very much so like a wooden medal.
Wood and silver.
A wood and silver
Price
medal.
of silver these days is far too much. Question, just as we have the trophy that will be awarded to the winning side at the end of this second half here, how does it compare, the women's trophy from that competition, how does it compare to the trophy we have here? I mean, obviously, I know you didn't grab it yourselves, but you would have certainly walked past it.
Yeah, absolutely, and we have our silver trophy as well, so don't worry.
Real silver?
Yeah, it's not wood in this one.
Right, okay.
So it's
it won't be solid silver. I'm absolutely adamant that's hollow and not made of silver. Yeah.
No, but this one's lovely. This has been the traditional shape that we've had here in BAFA for a long time now, with our new logo on it and everything this year, which makes it stunning. And our medals that we had at the World Championships were a bit bigger. They had a bit more shape to them, but all, at the end of the day, the fact that you've achieved it and you've got something to take home and put on your shelf is pretty special.
I'll be honest, it took me about 10 hours of being here today before I realised that is actually a pylon, rather than just being a rectangular wine box or something like that.
Should we put it in the end zone?
I think it's probably a health hazard. We probably won't do that, Phoebe. Let's rein it in, Phoebe. Now let's bring it back to this game. Obviously 21-7 to the Titans at half-time. Tash, I know you know some of the players on the Titans roster. I mean, where are they going to be at now as we see them sort of just warming up behind us, just getting ready for that second half? Sometimes it's tricky to go into a second half with a lead when maybe people weren't expecting you to have that lead.
Yeah, I think the ball's in their court right now. Like, if they can come out and start this second half how they started in the first quarter, I think that's when they'll be able to keep moving forward, keep scoring. However, the ball's fully in their court. They have to now go on and sustain this lead.
Yeah.
The Warriors can easily go and take it though now because they have the momentum.
Okay, well, let's see. Tash Crump, Phoebe Schechter, thank you very much. Time to hand back to our commentators, Carl Walkinshaw and Matt Walker, for the second half here at the BRITBOWL.
Thank you very much, John. Great half-time show there. Great to hear from Phoebe and all about the World Championship silver medals that the GB women achieved. And also, Carl, fantastic to see those Hall of Fame inductees down on the sideline here this afternoon.
Oh, I've never been surrounded by so much American football, British royalty in all my life. Hall of Famers, GB players, all sorts of people here at BRITBOWL.
But back to the action. Oh, and cheeky little squib kick there, trying to catch the Warriors unawares. And at one point it seemed like the Warriors special teamer there, Reece Walker, was caught by surprise a little bit. It squirmed under his body, but he did manage to get back on it. And as a result, that risk hasn't really paid off, because the Warriors will get really good field position at about their 40. Let's have a look where that's being spotted. Right at midfield, in fact, I think.
Now the question here is, who's going to come out in the second half with more nerves? Is it going to be the Titans, who will have shocked the Warriors, but they've probably shocked themselves as well, coming out and having a 21-7 lead at the half? Or will it be the Warriors, who know now that they've got to get right back into this without their starting quarterback? But Nick Jackett's made some passes. Let's see what he can do.
So Jackett then drops back on first down and he goes straight to work up the top, and that is intercepted. Manchester swinging that momentum straight back in the shape of Jonathan Benter with the pick.
Perfect coverage. There go the Titans. So we asked about the nerves. Jackie wants to go straight down the field and pull the Warriors right back into this one. And Bentel shuts the door. Here's the replay. Jackie dropping back, play action, goes straight to the air. Look at that coverage. That is perfect. Can't do it any better than that. Jonathan Bentel, what a great pick. And the Titans now with the ball again at their 16.
One turnover apiece then for these teams in the final. Bloomfield still, as ever, quarterback for the Titans, as the sun goes down on this jet sweep on first down, looking to try and find the edge, but he can't find the edge. Can Winrow snag down before he's able to turn the corner?
That's just really great play by the Warriors defense. That's a GB receiver. Is Chris Winrow, came over from the Sheffield Giants to the Titans and made a difference this season. Was injured last season, but has played really, really well to get them to this final, but he can't make anything happen there.
Loss of 1 on first down. Bloomfield facing 2nd and 11. This time handed up, and Tom Jones looks to try and see if he can pick up where he left off in the first half, and picks up 4 yards on 2nd down. Really effective runner all throughout the first half, Carl.
Yeah, and it's just good offensive line players where you've got to hand it to that big offensive line. We wondered if they could move this Warriors defense, and they are moving them.
So a big 3rd down at the start of the second half. Bamba in motion, 2 touchdown hero from the first half. And Bloomfield goes up top, and this one almost intercepted itself. Just slightly misjudged by Obi Samuel.
Trying to run the same play that they got to Bemba, but they're trying to run it to Winrow now. That roll out. Bloomfield has the choice of going deep or going short. Chooses to go deep. Decent coverage. And Winrow couldn't do anything to get his hands on that football. So the Warriors force the punt, and they will get the ball back, and so that interception hasn't really harmed them. It's taken a little bit of time off the clock, but still plenty left.
Only the second 3 and out of the game for the Titans, and the result of that last couple of minutes is that the Warriors will have the ball again 3 yards better off than they were on their first possession. They'll take over the second possession of the second half on the Titans 45.
Now they looked to get that quick hit, didn't they? That first possession that they had, first play out, just going deep. We'll see whether they stick to the game plan that's worked for them all season, which is to get this great stable of running backs into the game. They've still got plenty of time here to get these 2 scores back. They need to establish something with momentum on offense.
Jackett swings the ball on first down out to his halfback, who steps out of 1 tackle and picks up first down yardage. Does Tyrese Johnson-Fisher.
Yeah, he's done an end around, and then they've got him to the flat as well. And that's clever, because Jackett can manage those passes. Their starting quarterback for these Warriors not on the field today, so Jackett having to come in to replace T. Williams, and it's those sorts of passes that will build his confidence.
According to our roster as well, Carl, the only quarterback on the Warriors roster today. Now obviously somebody else will step in if need be, but that read option, they attempt again, but that does not fool big number 74.
It's 94, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Cady Makin again from his nose tackle position, just coming in and taking away any opportunity there.
Yeah, Cade Makin, you're quite right. So the pressure back on the Warriors, 2nd and long.
Defensive linemen swallowing up quarterbacks all year long. These offensive linemen, as Phoebe Schechter was saying in the half, need to, move the feet and get something going on offense. They can't keep allowing these defensive linemen to hit these gaps so hard.
2nd and long, Jackett back to pass again, looks to his right, comes back to his left, got a man, but great DB work. Number 1, Ricardo Delver.
Yeah, he had a pick in the semi-finals for a touchdown. He's been playing great all season long, and he's not a man I would choose to go to one-on-one. Got tremendous speed and shows that he has athletic ability as well, knocking that ball down.
Blanket coverage there by Delver. And Jackett may be glad that didn't end up worse than just an incompletion. So 3rd and about 13. Warriors looking to convert and keep the pressure on the Titans. He looks over to his right, and I think that is caught. Yeah. It is caught as Jackett ends up on the floor after he completes the pass.
25 has made a number of plays. We don't have a name for 25 Warrior, but he's made 3 plays so far that I can think of. But it does look like it's going to bring up that 4th, and we'll see whether they stay on the field.
Well, Jackett's on the field still at the moment, 4th and 10. He's got the dependable Raymond Sabawale alongside him. Let's see if this gamble pays off at the start of the second half, and he goes to the air, and it is incomplete. Looking for Mbemba, but that will be a turnover on downs for London.
That's one Jacket would want to have back, Mbemba having to twist his body, the ball's thrown behind him. So 2 drives from the Warriors to open this second half. One was an interception on the first play of the second half, and the next one is a turnover on downs. So they're going to rely on their defense again to get the Titans off the field.
So the sun no longer a factor for either of these teams, as it's set away to the left of our commentary position, the right as you look on the screen. Bloomfield hoping the sun isn't going down on the Titans' chances. Thomas Jones stutter steps again and is met by Cedric Akron after a pickup, maybe a yard.
Yeah, A.D. Campson in on that play as well. Big number 96.
Titans player down at the moment. This is the weekend of BRITBOWL 34, the second of 4 games that we're bringing you this weekend. We saw the Under-19 Division 1 Championship, London Blitz, take the title over the Tamworth Phoenix. Obviously, this is BRITBOWL 34 you're watching right now. And tomorrow, join us from 12 p.m. for a 12 p.m. kickoff. The Division 2 Championship between the Highland Stags and the Bristol Apache. And then we round things off at 5 p.m. tomorrow with the Division 1 Championship. The East Kilbride Pirates take on the Cambridge Cats.
That starting offensive lineman, Craig Oliphant, making his way to the sideline, number 74, so they have to replace him on their offensive line while he gets seen to.
2nd and 9 then. Bloomfield and the Titans looking to try and re-establish some rhythm in this 3rd quarter here in London. And he fakes the handoff to Jones, then flings the ball out. And it's Winrow once again with the reception.
Winrow up the sideline. They're very close to that first down marker. I think they're just going to be a yard short here. But again, move in the pocket. Bloomfield does that so well, throws on the run really nicely, and where he was lofting those balls before, he's accurate on this one.
As you mentioned, 3rd and a yard. Lots open to him, and the DB's playing off. 7-8 yards on the near side of the screen as you look. But it's Jones who gets the football, and a fantastic effort by that Warriors defensive front to snuff out any opportunity for a first down right there.
Linebacker Sean Reese coming in from that on the right side of the defensive line and just coming in and snuffing out Jones, bringing up 4th and 2, loss of half a yard. So Warriors defense do what they need to do, which is to hold firm on 3rd down and force the 4th. Now then, someone wants to think about this one.
I think there's an injury to a Warrior there, number 58, just slow to get up.
It's actually the player that made the play, which is Sean Reese.
Yeah. Thankfully manages to make his way to the sideline under his own steam. And the punt unit is on for the Titans, understanding how important this phase of the game is. Not wanting to give the Warriors a sniff at this stage. So 4th and a yard then. And now, timeout called by Manchester.
So this Manchester team 2 scores ahead in this final. They doubled the number of practices and classroom sessions in the build-up to both this Bristol game and the London Warriors game. And it's been really the difference of Jonathan Homer that's made the big difference over the last few years. They've always been the bridesmaid to Tamworth Phoenix over the last few years, but the Titans winning the division in the north and then beating Bristol, and Tamworth needing to make that trip down to London where they lost finally to the Warriors. And so here they are, the Manchester Titans, in their first outing in a big final like this for a number of years, performing really well. Fourth down, they took the time out to have a think about it, Matt. Do you fake it here? Is that what they're thinking?
Surely not. A game of this magnitude with momentum still, I would say, with the Warriors after that late first half score, you've surely got to try and pin the Warriors back, particularly how well your defense have been playing. And they do indeed do that. A high floating kick which drifts straight out of bounds. A beautiful one-handed take on the sideline there by Josh Clark of the Warriors. And the Titans go 3 and out on that particular series. And we'll see Jacket and the offense again take over on their own 35. So once again, a bit of a cagey start to this second half, very much like we had in the first half. Defenses stepping up, leading the way. We know both teams are capable of explosive plays. It's a jet sweep, and as a flag comes out, as the running back does manage to drag defenders with him, there's Tyrese Johnson-Fisher, but I do believe this one will be coming back for a hold.
Well, it doesn't surprise me, because they blitzed 3 players, did the Titans, off the left-hand side, chasing that play down. And in order to get the play off, I'm pretty sure there was a hold in
During
there
the run, we have holding number 75 of the Warriors. That's a 10-yard penalty from the previous spot, and it remains first down.
First time we hear from referee Brian Yates in this second half, alongside his officiating crew of Davey Parsons, Ben Griffiths, Pete Tom, James Ford-Bannister, Pete Parsons, Evan Patterson and Stuart Young. We also have our crew, our video replay officials up here with us as well, and we thank BAFRA for all their efforts, not only today but throughout the British season this year, as Jacket looks to pass once again, in and out of the hands, a little bit too high for Taylor Burke. And we've seen that quite a lot when the quarterback, a right-handed quarterback, rolling to his left card. It's hard for them to throw across the body with any accuracy and keep that ball down. And you can see the flags, particularly in the far corner of the end zone. There is some wind down there at pitch level.
There is. We're shielded a little bit from it up here, but we have seen those shorter passes just sailing a bit. As you look at head coach Tony Allen on the sideline, still calm, still clutching that water bottle, not throwing it to the ground yet.
No time to panic right now. Jacket looking to pass again, pops it out to the far left, and the receiver is corralled straight away, is Luke Hegney. And no gain, in fact, he'll lose a couple on that.
Look at the sticks. I mean, the Titans now, what, 3rd and 25? So, I mean, this is the situations they've been put in a lot during this game. Just difficult holes for them to get out of, because they're just not being as effective as they did very early on 1st and 2nd down. And you have to say, where is Subawali?
Manchester have been good all season, but I think even they will have surpassed expectations of themselves, as that is going to go in the books. Oh, it won't go as a sack, I don't think, because it looks like Jacket has been managed to be forced in front of the line of scrimmage. So he'll get a little rushing stat to his name there, but nevertheless, from what Jacket wanted to do with the football, that probably wasn't the end result.
They've been smart, the Titans, in the keep sending pressure. They keep sending pressure and putting Jacket in a situation that he's not used to. His backup quarterback, the starting quarterback for the Warriors, D. Williams, not available. We don't know why. There's always a media blackout whenever the Warriors get to a final. We don't get the information from the Warriors that we might like. But Jacket under all sorts of pressure from this Titans defensive line and linebackers.
They are an enigma, aren't they, Carl? But the enigma at the moment is being found out by this plucky Titans team, who have no fear, as Fossey steps and gets a little bit of a seam down the right-hand sideline from our perspective, and he gets his way out to the 40-yard line. where the Titans will take over once again. This field position battle very much going the way of the Titans at the moment. So Manchester by no way been overawed by this occasion.
Certainly not. Sam Fossey's obviously, he's a defensive captain, but he also plays that special teams. And an ex-London Warrior player himself, he won't be intimidated at all by his ex-team. In fact, he'll be relishing the opportunity to play them again. And he was with them in that first Prem National Championship in 2013.
Bamber in motion. Swing that ball out to the far right again. Nice spin move out of the first attempted tackle. And Gracie Ainscough keeps the playbook open. Brings up 2nd and 6.
Time's ticking. Every time the Titans run a successful play, it's a little less opportunity for these Warriors to come back.
13 out of 20 through the air for Bloomfield. Most of them those short little jailbreak screens, swing passes. Rolls out again to his right, hits it. Oh! Looking for Bamber. And you saw Mackenzie Daniel. Sorry, my bad. Daniel McKenzie. Let's read it the right way around. Daniel McKenzie, who made such a great play in the first half, taking the ball out of Bamber's hand, almost had 6 of his own there, and his eyes lit up.
Yeah, they had trips to the bottom of the screen. He's just running a quick out with Bamber, and McKenzie just jumped it, but couldn't hold on to it. There's one that's gone begging.
I love the way that the Titans come straight back to the line, not really giving the Warriors time to either think about that or celebrate it before they've got to refocus on this 3rd and 6. Stand and deliver again. He's gone up top. He's got a man over there, and it's complete at the 30, down to the 20-yard line. Is that man once again, Max Gracie Ainscough, and another big play from a pump action stand and deliver pass by Bloomfield.
How many times are they going to bite on that? His defensive back's been caught out so many times, but it's easy to say up here in the booth. Let's have a look. There's the little flick. It's hardly anything Bloomfield does, but he just freezes that DB, and it's just about making sure your eyes are on that receiver. So again, Reese Walter getting caught out there on that one.
We mentioned in the first half, Carl, how much time did Bloomfield have there? They didn't have to move. He literally just stood still while his offensive line created that protection, and Gracie Ainscough managed to get himself down the field, and another perfect pass. Bloomfield again out to the far side. And when you've got a hot receiver and a hot QB, until you can find a way to stop us, we'll keep going back to that well.
Well, again, they're playing that psychological game with the defensive backs, because you go over the top, so the defensive back backs off. Then you go straight back to the same player on a quick hook pass. Very clever stuff from Bloomfield and the Titans.
They're knocking at the door now in the red zone. 2nd and 3 from the 15. What a fantastic end to this British American football Prem season. Another low snap and flings it out. That's that same man again, 3 plays in a row. Looks like he's got enough for a first down. Keep the chains moving. Looks like being 1st and goal, Manchester inside the 10-yard line.
You're wondering what's going on in Reese Waller's head, don't you? 3 plays, 3 completions. And these Titans, they just keep on coming.
It wouldn't surprise me now to see Thomas Jones in the backfield get involved at this stage. There's press coverage on the top now. Press coverage all the way through, and can afford to when, like you said earlier, you've only got 10 yards to pay dirt. And the Warriors can afford to be a bit more aggressive, and there is Thomas Jones, who gets slammed just inside the 10.
They're happy to play smash mouth football, the Warriors. What they're less happy about is the finesse and the cleverness and the little wrinkles that this Titans offense have in their arsenal.
The Warriors conceded no more than 17 points in any one game. Only 49 points in total. And they've shipped 21 to this Manchester side today. 49 points in total during the year. What a fitting way to end this British American football season at the moment. Still don't know which way this is going, but it could be even closer to the Northwest outfit after that pass and catch in the end zone. Touchdown Manchester. This time it's Ben Martin with the catch.
He's been quiet as Ben Martin, but scored in the semi-finals, scored often in the regular season. They've got a range of different weapons and they're bringing them all in. There's a total of 25 different players that have scored for the Manchester Titans over the course of a season. Bloomfield gets the ball to all of them, and he was clever on that one because he looked off to his outside and then came back. You'll see it, looking to his out, and then he comes back to the slant. Now the coverage was great, but the catch from Ben Martin was better.
I say it again. What time this offensive line is affording him. He just poised in the pocket and just stand and deliver, and the kick is up and the kick is good. As Aaron Ainsworth-Bocott remains perfect. 4 extra points off his 4 attempts. And Sam Bloomfield now 17 out of 25 and 3 passing touchdowns.
Well, let us know whether you predicted this score. We certainly didn't here in the booth. And you know, you have to say, okay, the Warriors don't have their starting quarterback, but they're not a one-dimensional team. They have a great defense, a great offense. I think that their star running back, Samuel Away, is injured. I think they're struggling on 1st and 2nd down, but it doesn't explain away this scoreline. 3 scores ahead for the Titans.
I was going to back that up. You're quite right. They may be struggling on offense, but obviously the defense have shipped 4 touchdowns. And that usually ferocious Warriors defense has been strategically dismantled at the moment by the quick thinking and the quick pass plays of this Manchester outfit. They're not allowing the Warriors to be aggressive, but here's a good run back. And again, a slight change of momentum. Luke Hegney takes the ball out past the 30-yard line.
He's the touchdown scorer, is Hegney. He's someone who's trying to make something happen. You know, he saw that kick coming. He knows they're 3 scores down. And he says, all right, put it in my hands. Let me see if I can do something here with this. Reverse his direction, but there is a flag on that. You wonder whether this is coming back for a block.
Yeah, ordinarily, when that flag comes back on the run back, here we go.
Legal block in the back, number 43 of the Warriors. Penalties 10 yards from the flag. Their ball, 1st down.
Like you say, the Warriors can't catch a break at the moment, and that's going to pin them way back. What was their own 37-yard line to start suddenly becomes their own 18-yard line. Let's see if we can see the block in the back.
Here's a kickoff. Hegney takes it. The receiver takes it well and then decides, all right, I'm going to reverse field. There's the block in the back. You can see the Titans player go to ground and the flag following up, and then it's Hegney. It was a critical block. It was in the path of Hegney.
Oh, Nick Jackett, I think that's going to be offside against the defence. I think from what I saw, Sam Fossey went a tad early, met the running back in the backfield, but bounced off him.
Well, Sabawali's back in. There he is, big number 35. Let's hear from the ref.
Offside. Number 9, Titans. 5 yards previous spot. It remains 1st down.
So Fossey was a little too enthusiastic at the start of that play. So 1st and 5 for the Warriors. Yeah, I say play calling for the Titans has really taken away that aggressive defense, hasn't it? Those quick screen passes, little slants, rollouts, and hit them on the in the flats. Completely counteracts that Warriors' aggressive defense as Sabawali takes the handoff and he keeps driving his feet close to the line to gain for a 1st down. But not quite there. Still got 2-3 more chances. Slow to get up again, Carl. I think you're right about him carrying a bit of a niggling injury there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure his ankle's strapped and he's not his best, but he's still a threat and they still want him in there, especially in their most important moments.
Second down, Jacket rolls to his right. He's got a man coming. Oh, and he did have a man wide open. Sitting waiting on the sideline was Ian Jacket. Unfortunately, as Nick Jacket was rolling, he couldn't provide the accuracy needed for Ian to reel in that possession. And it's third down.
But it's manageable because Odewale's in there, because of those tough, difficult yards up the middle. Now he's not in there. Now they've brought in Jermaine Allen, and this combination in the backfield hasn't worked so far. Let's see.
Big pressure up the middle, and Jacket goes to the air once again, puts it over the top, and it's caught, and it's first down, Warriors. Nice pass on the move from Jacket, and Ian Jacket couldn't reel in the pass before, but does reel in this one.
Yeah, nice play. That was nice protection as well. They just moved the pocket slightly, and then they send Allen just in front of Jacket, so he has that little bit of a shield, gets rid of the ball in time before that Titans defensive line can get to him. First down.
Third quarter marches on. Very quick first half. Jacket another completed pass to his namesake. And a pickup of 7 on first down. Keeps the Warriors interested on this particular drive. Their 11th drive of the game. 4th drive of the second half.
Ian Jacket now limping off the field to the sideline. Are they running out of options now, these Warriors? Jermaine Allen next to Jacket in the backfield.
2nd and 2. Allen play action. Jacket steps up. He's in trouble. And he goes down. Big number 99 on the sack this time, Charles Dixon.
The improvements that Jonathan Holm has made to this defense of Manchester Titans this season has been amazing, and that defensive line has been incredibly strong. So the 3rd or 4th sack now of Jacket. Now there is a flag.
Is that for afters?
You're looking at
Brian Yates
on the field.
I like it when we
complete each other's sentences.
Please disregard the flag. The block in question was legal.
So no flag, disregarding the flag, which isn't overly popular a decision with the blue sideline. Nevertheless, a loss on second down brings up 3rd and a long 5. Sabawali gets the call, and Sabawali spins, and he's knocked down short of the first down yardage, and he gets walloped on his way to the ground. And there's a flag again.
I think that's going to be a helmet to helmet. I do. Sabawali's he's dished it out, but he's also taken some hits. Jack Watson with the hit, and they'll be discussing whether that was a helmet to helmet blow from a defenseless to a defenseless runner.
Well, the intensity still there from both these sides. The prize glittering on the sideline for one of these two. And really, you still don't quite know where it's going. A 3-score lead on most opponents, you would suggest might be enough.
Previous play is under further review.
But this replay is under review due to the severity of the contact.
And I think that's right. It's such a big call. You know, whether there was that helmet-to-helmet contact, and if there was it intentional?
There's our replay officials trying to garner what the correct outcome of this one will be. We were kind of worried, Carl, weren't we? And again, no disrespect to Manchester, but we were kind of worried at the start of this one that it may be a little one-sided. But what a fantastic contest we've had so far through 2.5 quarters.
Well, we were right. It was one-sided. It was just the wrong side. Titans so far have really come into play. What a great culture they've grown.
Here's the call.
After further review, the tackle in question was legal. There was helmet-to-helmet contact, but that was in the context of the tackle. There was no launch, no thrust, no individual order targeting. Therefore, the flags are disregarded. It is 4th down.
I like that from Brian Yates. I like the explanation. I like the detail because we needed it. And I like the call. There was nothing wrong with Jack Watson going in. There was no intention to hurt Sabawali. Unintentional helmet-to-helmet contact. Great call by the refereeing crew, in my opinion.
We have an extremely experienced head coach in Tony Allen on one sideline, but also an extremely experienced officiating crew led by Brian Yates in his 14th national final. And it brings up 4th down. Oh, and there was a man flying through there. But it's going to be close. Let's have a look. What's the call? I think by the way the substitutions are taking place, Manchester think they've stopped, and indeed referee Yates signals turnover on downs. Another massive moment in this BRITBOWL 34.
It's huge, and it's one of the biggest surprises for me coming in. It has not been the finesse of Manchester, it's not been their cleverness, it's not been the little wrinkles they've got in their play, but it's been the way they've been able to play smash mouth football. They've been able to stand in the middle of the ring with the Warriors and slug it out, and they're coming away with wins like this one. You're watching the replay here, there's the handoff. Look at the number of running backs that are in there to try and get that ball over the first down marker, and they can't get there.
So Bloomfield now looking to put another nail in the coffin of this Warriors team. Rolls to his right, zips the ball in. Another reception for that man again, number 13, who is building his case, is Max Gracie Ainscoe for MVP. But he can't be an MVP without the work of his quarterback, and Bloomfield has done a sterling job. 18 completions now. 3 touchdowns through the air. And the sticks move once more for the Titans. There's a strange hush falling over the New River Stadium. Anticipation from the blue side, anxiety from the grey side. But still, never count those Warriors out. Another pass, and Ainscoe once again. Catch, spin, first down Manchester.
If you cover the deep pass, they're going to throw it short. If you cover it short, they're going to try and get over the top. And they've done it all game long, and it's this little cat and mouse, and it's not rocket science, but it's working.
Bloomfield may end up with the cleanest jersey out of anyone. Don't think he's even been close to having any pressure on him, and at that stage, that brings us to the end of the third quarter with the score: the London Warriors 7 and the Manchester Titans 28.
That is the end of the third quarter.
One more quarter of Premiership football to go in 2022. Carl, I know you're looking back there over previous BRITBOWL results.
I'm just getting a sense of the scale of this potential victory for the Titans. Since 2013, the Warriors have won everything except one. They've been dominant for nearly a decade. The only loss they had was a semi-final against Tamworth in 2016. And that's what we're looking at here. Tamworth have tried. London Blitz have tried. Many teams have tried and couldn't turn over the Warriors. We are looking at a monumental shift if this score stands.
Not trying to be pedantic, but I know we'll get picked up if it's 2017 that Tamworth won that one and they beat the London Blitz in the final rather than 2016. But you're right, Carl, just absolute dominance by the Warriors for the past 9 years other than 2017. But a changing of the guard maybe here at New River Stadium, North London this evening as we begin the fourth quarter. And obviously Bloomfield and this high-powered, effective, dynamic offense continues to go to work. First down. Well, it's a fumble by Bloomfield, and he just has to cover it, but he can't. but it looks like one of his mates has come to his rescue again that time. Let's have a look which Titan has bailed him out there, and it's one of his O-linemen, big number 54, Joe Partington. Johnny on the spot there to save the blushes of his quarterback, 2nd and long.
They just want to maintain that focus and concentration which they lost against Bristol towards the end of that game in the semi-finals. Now that's just a mistake. Let's see if Bloomfield can get right back on it here.
Well, what makes a great player is having a short memory when it comes to errors. On to the next play. Bloomfield with trips to his left. Hands the ball off this time. But again, the Warriors are there. And after having success in the first half, Jonathan Pangago gets knocked backwards. And now 3rd and long faces the Titans. Fourth down territory here for the Titans, or is it a maybe try and tack on a field goal? See what you get here on 3rd down? And
I think if they have an opportunity at the field goal, they have a very, very good kicker. I think 4th down, no, you want to punt. Your defense has been playing great.
Let's see what happens on 3rd and a mile. Bloomfield, delayed handoff, but that's sniffed out very, very quickly. And Niall Scott Grant with another loss, and I think rightly so, Cole, where they started off this particular 1st down on the Warriors' 28-yard line. You may think, oh, we'll have a pop at the field goal if we're on 4th down there. But on those last 3 plays, they've been marched back nearly 20 yards, and out comes the punt unit.
Well, if the Warriors are going to defend their national championship, they're leaving it very, very late. And they need 3 scores. And we are well into the 4th quarter.
Floodlights are on now at New River. It's a lovely spiraled kick to the corner. Takes a beautiful bounce. And it's going to be 1st down Warriors on their own 20 to start drive 12.
That's a great kick. They're protecting their lead really well, these Titans. Playing it safe, not making the mistakes they made against Bristol in the semi-final by throwing interceptions, by opening the door for a team to come back at them. They're trying slowly to close it inch by inch, force those Warriors back. But here we go, the Warriors have the ball.
Jacket flips it out, and I tell you what, if the defender there, Alex Cooper, had kept his eyes up, he could have been into the end zone himself with his own pick 6. So focused on the recipient of that ball, didn't see Jacket float in that. And the Warriors dodge another bullet.
Well, it was initially a little pitch, I think, but because of the disruption this defensive line is causing, Jacket has to throw it over the top, which is not how the play was designed. So Wally in the backfield, so there is that running threat, but they need yards, they need them quick.
There's a little screen, completed pass, nice spin again, and that's going to be close to 1st down yardage. It's a Aluko on the reception.
Chains moving. Warriors need to move quickly. Trips to the top, single receiver to the bottom.
1st down. Jacket pitches the ball out to the right, and it's Sabawale who steps inside. And it takes a swarm of Titans again to bring him down, and he pops out the other side for a pickup of 9.
Wasn't that beautiful? We're watching it up here, all you can see is a pile, and there he is, squirting out the bottom of that. Massive bodies. He's Adewale, that's why they've got him in there, despite any problems, niggles he might be carrying in, brings him in 2nd and short.
Show my age now, there's a 90s rap tune there somewhere. Whoop, there it is. Tag team, I believe. Anyway, 2nd and short. Jacket swings the ball out again. Nice catch by Adewale. Sorry, Sabawale rather.
That's
Great
a great
tackle.
tackle. Yeah,
Sorry.
Joe Partington coming in there, number 54, and just catches Sobowali from behind. You can see his frustration there. I mean, he had to turn his head to make the catch, and then he's got to look back upfield. That linebacker all the time, closing. Great job, Joe Partington.
No gain on the play, so 3rd down and a yard. 4-man defensive front with 2 threatening, blitzing linebackers as Fossey comes off the edge again. The pass is completed. Nicely done that time by Jacket. Finds Luke Benjamin and Mbemba on the reception for the 1st down. Jacket's 10th completion of the afternoon. 10 out of 25 is Jacket, compared to 19 of 27 for Bloomfield. But a 1st down once again. Jacket again to the air, swing pass. This play's blown dead before it's ever had chance to get started though, which usually means it's a legal procedure.
False start. Offensive team, not set for 1 second prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty, it remains 1st down.
So we come towards the end of the 1st day of this BRITBOWL weekend, the culmination of the British American football season here in the UK. And the Titans looking for their 1st national championship. Ball handed off. A little read option again, and that's a nice move. And he's still on his feet as the runner over midfield, down to the 40-yard line. And some explosiveness from Tyrese Johnson-Fisher puts the Warriors in good position on this particular drive.
He's made a difference every time he's touched the ball. He's made a difference. He's made yards on end arounds, and runs like that, the trickier stuff that the Warriors need to run to get chunk yardage in this Q4. They desperately need it.
Jacket has done a stellar job at quarterback in relief of D. Williams, the Warriors' starting quarterback. And as we said earlier, not necessarily all the offense's fault, as Jacket goes up top. Oh, and the DB that time turns receiver. And Luke Benjamin and Mbemba plays DB.
It's Jonathan Bentil again with the great coverage. Just done a really nice job in ensuring that he shut down Mbemba when they've tried to go deep. Doesn't let him get end zone side of him.
2nd and 10 Warriors. The Manchester sideline wave on their troops. Jacket, quick pass once again, complete. 1st down for Luke Hegney. In fact, it's going to be very close. May well just be a few inches short, actually.
Jack Watson, the veteran on the tackle. He's making a difference, as he did in the 1st half, trying to slow this momentum of this drive down.
3rd and inches. 20 past 7 here on a early September evening. That's going to be an encroachment penalty against the Titans, but Jacket does very well to pick up the 1st down nonetheless. So kind of a free play there really, and Jacket tucks it and barrels his way to a 1st down.
Yeah, it looked like number 9.
Side.
Fossey
Number
off the
22
edge.
of the Titans. It's a 5-yard penalty, which results in a Warriors 1st down.
Apologies, Mr. Yates, for talking over you. That's the 3rd time Fossey's been caught for that particular infringement. Too eager, not timing his blitz quite right off the edge.
But the chances they've taken in getting the pressure have paid off, because they are quickly getting pressure, even if they're anticipating that snap slightly.
Jacket to the air again. Swings it out, and it's almost intercepted by that man Fossey. And if he had been able to snag that, he had nothing but green turf in front of him.
We're going to see more of that because they've got to air it out. They've got to get chunk yards. They've got to get it quick. Clock keeps ticking.
The wind picking up now. Manchester tiptoe ever so slightly closer as Jacket goes to the air again, and this one is picked. Lovely move after that interception, and steps out of bounds, and that's going to be, is that going to be close to a late hit? No. But another turnover. Alex Eager with the interception.
That was a beautiful moment, pulling his shirt up. Charles and Emily on his t-shirt there in this final. And Alex Eager with the pick. Here it is, and we know that Jackie's got to take some risks, and that's just thrown into triple coverage. You can see 3 defenders there, and here comes Ray Obawale, just pummels Alex Eager out of bounds. He's not been happy with the way things have gone today. But Alex Eager with a great play. Titans back with the football again, and the breath is being squeezed out of these Warriors.
Now in the semi-final call at this stage, maybe the Titans guilty of play selection inaccuracies. Do you think they'll start stuffing this up the jumper with Jones? Well, they do on first down. And the Titans defensive line is equal to that.
The Warriors know what's coming, and the Titans know what they want to run. It's just a battle of wills now at that line of scrimmage. Thomas Jones trots out. He's played well today, hasn't he? His stable of running backs that they've got have all been great.
Well, I mean, you're hard pushed to pick, you know, a definitive difference maker for Manchester, because they've had Thomas Jones, they've had Bloomfield, they've had Bamba, they've had Ainscough, and they've had that whole defense. And equally then again, there's Bamba with the reception again, picking up another Manchester first down. You've got to give credit again to that offensive line, led by Oliphant. Try and get some names for you for that offensive line, because they don't get enough credit ever. Jonathan Morehouse, number 58. Craig Oliphant, number 74.
Look at the faces of these Manchester Titans. They look poised, they look confident. They look ready to bring this one home to Manchester for the first time in a long time.
Give some shout-outs to some more of the O-line as and when I can catch numbers. This time, little reverse handoff, but that's well snuffed out. .58 on the O-line is Jonathan Morehouse, mentioned him. 71, Lucas Kristofiak. 65, putting the hard work in, Owen Smith. I don't think I've missed anybody out there, but a stellar job in not only opening holes for Thomas Jones, but also giving Bloomfield the protection he's needed when he's gone downfield, which he has done frequently in this final. Handed off again to Jones on third down. Oh, sorry, second down. In second down and long it is. Gets back to the original line of scrimmage.
We give credit to the coaching staff at Manchester as well. Offensive coordinator Luke Carlton, who's been great all season long. This sophisticated offense, this clever little offense, with these plays that make the best use of Bloomfield's talents, being able to roll out, get the ball over the top, these quick passes, this big offensive line. Done a really nice job. There's this time Bloomfield rolling out to his right-hand side, looks to complete that one. Wait for the signal, and it looks like it will be complete, and the chains will move again, and the Titans inch closer, and the clock keeps ticking down, and the hopes of the national champion London Warriors continue to fall away.
Bloomfield's 20th completion of the afternoon. I say, when you try and you start talking about Brian Yates, you start talking.
Timeout. Warriors. They have challenged the previous play. The previous play is under further review.
Okay, so they're challenging the completion.
It was close. It was a fingertip catch off the boot strings.
When you talk about...
It's worth the challenge. Sorry, Matt, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. One thing I hate doing is talking over you. When you think about MVPs, you know, Bloomfield orchestrated things amazingly well. He's 20 out of 28, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Then you've got Thomas Jones, who's been electric, not only with the long touchdown run in the first half, but just picking up chunk yardage as and when needed. Then we look at the receivers. Bamba, 2 scores. The ever-reliable Max Gracie Ainscoe. And here's a replay. Let's have a look, see if we can see anything
After further review,
here.
the ruling in the field is confirmed. It is a catch. It's first down, Manchester.
It's a critical
the timeout
catch as well.
is charged to
And
the
that's
London
Scott
Warriors.
Higgins, who's contributed
And they have
as
no
well.
more
You then
challenges
talk
in the
about the
game.
O-line. Apologies, Brian Yates again. I say I don't like talking over people. I've talked over Carl and referee Yates in the last 20 seconds. But then the offensive line kept Bloomfield clean, opened holes for the runners. Who do you pick?
You know, the stat that really surprised me, and we got it from the Manchester Titans information, is that there have been 25 different players on this team that have scored during the season. Now that to me tells you one thing, and it tells you that the quarterback in charge of this distributes the ball all over the field. It's not like we saw in the earlier game where you've got, you know, a specific partnership which continues to get you results. Bloomfield is a master of finding the space, and to me he is the obvious MVP today. I think he's been exceptional, and I think he fully deserves it. And you've been keeping stats on him through the game, and they look exceptional. What is it, 21 of 28, Matt?
Well, 20 of 27, 3 touchdowns, and I mean that's impressive enough. But when you then think it's against this Warriors team,
Exactly.
you know, 10-0 on the season, dominant against pretty much everyone they've played. And I agree about Bloomfield. We didn't even talk about the defense, Cole, for the Titans.
They've been incredible.
Bloomfield again to the air, a little bit high that time. If we're being overly critical, that's the one slight criticism of Bloomfield. There are a couple of balls that do sail on him, but other than that, it's hard to be critical. Again, yeah, Fossey on defense, number 9 for the Titans, springs to mind. That whole defensive line. Yeah, and I think they just
Those 2 linebackers as well, Partington and Watson, have played excellent. 54, 55. They've been, taking it to these runners.
It's just been a complete performance as Bloomfield goes up top, and that's just going to be out of the reach. Well, I say just. It's a good 5 yards out of the reach that time of Max Gracie Ainscoe.
He does like to do that, Bloomfield. He just never gets enough. More. Throwing the ball down the field, see if he can put another score on the board.
Relatively error-free as well. The defense has had 2 sacks, no sacks on Bloomfield. Turnovers, they've had 2 interceptions, 1 fumble early on from Jones in the first half. Just generally, the whole team has executed and performed on the biggest stage against the giant of British American football. Bloomfield going up top again. He tried once. This one's got a chance. And it's caught! Incredible! Bloomfield 40 yards through the air. And it's this time Ben Martin, scorer of the last touchdown.
Sharing the love. He's going to win the national championship. Let's get some more yards. Let's get it to some more players. Who else can we get in the end zone? This is how Bloomfield thinks. Distributes the ball around. And I think, his personality as we re-watch this has also impacted this team this season. He's a risk taker. He's someone who's not overawed by the big occasion. He doesn't care who he's playing. And that's what makes him such a great quarterback. And a great reception there as well.
Yeah, I do think that was a reception. He made the football move, and this time there's an end around. And the end around from Winrow, not overly successful. It was interesting as well, wasn't it? Bloomfield went for that same play, literally the play before, threw it 5 yards too far. Go on then, let's have another crack. Bang, on the money.
Exactly. And that's the epitome of what you talked about before, which is having a short memory when things go wrong and a long memory when things go right.
Well, as we come into the waning moments of BRITBOWL 34, we do hope you've enjoyed our coverage today. If you've been with us just for this game, or if you were with us for the Under-19 Championship, which saw the London Blitz retain their title, stay with us after this for the presentation of the National Championship to what looks like being the Manchester Titans. Bloomfield again, delayed handoff, and Jones drops the ball, spills it, but it's recovered by Oliphant. Once again, everything going the Titans' way.
It's the other thing that's happened, isn't it? I mean, the ball's hit the ground a number of times, but it's always been a blue jersey that's covered it up. Warriors have had their chances at turnovers, but there's only been one apiece. And you just think, seems to be the Titans' day. And it seems to be that long run of this London Warriors team looks to be coming to an end on this September Saturday under the floodlights here at New River Stadium.
Pangago in the backfield, what do you reckon? 3rd and long. Bloomfield going to the air again for one more. He's taking a timeout is what he's doing.
Somebody probably told him he couldn't, so he's gone over to argue with them.
Hang on a minute, what do you mean? I'm a Great Britain quarterback, I've got Great Britain receivers, the Great Britain running backs had a day and a half. Go on, one more. As the Manchester team go wild. And the fans for Manchester as well.
Manchester, 2 minutes 58
Here's
left
that deep pass
in the
again.
game.
You can see it's beautifully lofted and right on the money. And that's what he's been doing all day long. And that one to Ben Martin.
7 punts, 2 interceptions from their 12 drives this afternoon, the Warriors. Just 1 touchdown to show from it. 6 punts, but 4 touchdowns from the Titans. Bloomfield comes back.
You can see the shocked expressions on the coaches' faces there. Can't quite believe it that it looks like they're going to take down the mighty Warriors.
Well, again, we've said it earlier, and no disrespect to Manchester at all, but you know, if Manchester were going to win this, we thought they might squeak it, if at all. But to have put 4 touchdowns on these Warriors and only conceded 1 as Pangago takes the handoff on 3rd down. I don't think anybody in BRITBOWL would have predicted this, Cole.
No, and I spoke to a few people, as you would have done, Matt, before the game, and lots of people was thinking, you know, the one message I was getting was, you know, Tamworth scared the Warriors in the semis, so you can expect the Warriors to show up and put the Titans away. That seemed to be the script. Well, the Titans have turned up and said, that ain't our script. We're ripping it up and we're writing our own, and they've written their own here tonight.
So Ainscoe Bocock comes on to attempt a field goal, and the kick is up, and the kick is good. A 30, let's call that a 40-yard field goal, just to put the icing on the cake for these Titans.
He's a hell of a kicker. I've been watching him over a number of games, and he's coming up a little bit limpy there, a little bit gimpy. I hope he's okay. Great kicker. Takes them to over 30 points on these Warriors.
Interestingly, Carl, you look back at the Warriors' schedule, and their last 2 games of the season, on the 24th and the 31st of July, they were awarded walkovers. Now, on the one hand, you could argue that's going to keep their players fresh, but on the other hand, since the 3rd of July, when they beat the Bristol Aztecs, they've only had 1 other game, but that was nearly, what was a month and a half later, on the 21st of August, which was that playoff win against the Phoenix. So you kind of think, was there any rust there? You know, was the fact that they hadn't played, is that why it was so close with the Phoenix? You know, no disrespect to Jason Scott and the Tamworth outfit, because they're a formidable opponent as well. I mean, they split the season 1-1 against these Manchester Titans. But you start looking, I know Tony Allen won't make excuses, because when he comes to watch this back, the bottom line is the Manchester Titans have outperformed the London Warriors today.
Time out,
Back in
Manchester.
2017.
2 minutes,
they
6
had-
seconds left in the game.
It's a timeout there for the Warriors. They had the Europeans. They were playing in the Europeans that year, and they slipped up against Tamworth in the semi-finals, and then it was blitz Tamworth, and Tamworth had that legendary victory to take their only championship that they've won.
Pat Daly.
And Pat Daly, yeah, and they don't have any of those reasons this year. And I'm not calling them excuses, because I don't think it was an excuse. I think they were stretched to that year. But I also think Tony Allen plays American football and coaches for so many years, not because of the wins, but because of the players. And that's how he will come back from this.
Absolutely. And I've noticed on Facebook, I've been looking at some of the comments on Facebook, and people question the impact that Dee Williams not starting at quarterback for the Warriors may have had. And yes, it may well be that more points would have been put up, but at the same time, Dee Williams doesn't play defense. And I think all across, like we've said, it's been so dynamic and so many weapons this Manchester Titans team have had today. Running backs, receivers, quarterback himself. I'm not sure how much of a difference Dee Williams may have made, but who knows? Who knows? Shoulda, woulda, coulda.
I think he would have done. I think he would have done it. It was he's been their starting quarterback all year round, and it's a fair point by the Warriors.
That is a
fans.
2-minute
But
warning.
every great
Time out for referees.
dynasty
That is a 2-minute warning. 2
suffers
minutes left in the game.
setbacks. And Tony Allen will be angry. He'll be irritated by the fact his team didn't win that championship again. But he'll be back, and these Warriors will be back. I can guarantee that.
Absolutely, no doubt about it. Jacket over to the sideline, down at the shoe straps of Taylor Burke. Second down, Warriors.
Warriors with the ball, but it's the Titans with the lead. And they're continuing to ball out, these Titans, to the very last. 28 that time. Alex Eager coming in and laying the boom.
Third down and 5, Warriors. Did well to hold on to that football, did Luke Hagney. Jacket again dropping back, we know taking risks. Ball is caught again. Warriors first down.
Well, you've got the Titans now playing 3 men deep, playing that deep zone. Everyone, they've got lots of DBs lining up at least 10-12 yards from that line of scrimmage. So Jacket's going to find some stuff underneath, but he won't find anything deep if the Titans have their way.
And there's another pick. And there's a lot of real estate in front of the DB. And that will be that for BRITBOWL 34. As number 87, George Slade, puts an exclamation mark on this Titans victory. National Championship #1. Good night, Vienna.
They put so many DBs back there. George Slade got a pick in the semi-final against Bristol, and he's just got a pick that's going to make the Manchester Titans the national champions. Here it is. Jackie's got no choice. He's got time, but he has to put it up. Look at the blue jerseys around there. And George Slade's that safety sat back there, and he sees glory. And he's off to the races, smiling and laughing under there before he even gets
during
to the
the
end
run.
zone. There you go, Big Blue. That's for you.
During the run, we have sideline interference by Manchester. That 15-yard penalty will be assessed on the succeeding kickoff, and it's classed as a dead ball foul. The result of the play is a touchdown.
Sideline interference, you can't blame them, can you?
It's been years in the making, this, and they can't contain themselves. Can the Manchester Titans sideline? Brian Yates handling that with the dignity it deserves.
What's that say? Blue milk.
Oh, and the one spot of disappointment is that they can't convert that one, but nevertheless, that pick six takes us to a 37-7 scoreline. A dejected Tony Allen will be left to lick his wounds. Oh, and just a fumbled snap there, unfortunately, by Matthew Kinsey. Doesn't give Aaron Ainsworth-Bocat an opportunity to keep a perfect sheet. Having said that, that won't be on him. He's not done anything wrong as the kicker.
They've created a culture in Manchester, that's what they've done. They've created not just a football team, but they've created a culture. They're very active on social media, they connect with each other, they're upbeat, they're always got each other's backs, and they're all for Manchester.
Apologies for any inappropriate language you may have heard from that exuberant Titans sideline. I can understand their excitement at this stage on this Saturday evening in North London. Kick is up, fielded at the 25-yard line. Warriors still fighting hard. They don't know when they're beaten, as you would expect. The ball is out to midfield. So the Warriors go again with drive number 14, starting from midfield.
They won't stop fighting, these Warriors. The name's in the title. They'll fight till the end.
Absolutely. And all the community that doubted the men in blue. As Fossey comes off the edge, Fossey comes off the edge again, but it's a lovely run once again by the man who has made a difference in the backfield, Tyrese Johnson-Fisher. Another explosive play from him.
Warriors will want to get into the end zone here, make that score just a little bit more respectable.
I'm interested to know when the last time was the Warriors were held under 10 points, Carl, as well as a flag comes out. As a Warrior basically sits on a Titan on the 40-yard line, gets up and then lays a flag. Here's Brian Yates once more.
Holding. Number 46 in the offense, 10-yard penalty, previous spot. It remains first down.
There was a penalty for sitting, they would have called that.
I think they technically called it holding rather than sitting, but nevertheless, restricted his movement. Can't do that. Not by grabbing on sitting anyway. So it's first down and 20. Handoff once again to Tyrese, who finds a seam and then bounces outside. And that's a good cover tackle from Ricardo Delver. Mentioned his name earlier on. And as good as a run it was from Tyrese, it's still not enough for a first down. He's going to get another go to try and convert, and he will do. Bounces outside, gets first down territory and skips out of bounds. And as you mentioned, the Warriors will look for pride, but the whistle will beat them as Brian Yates holds the ball aloft to signal the Manchester Titans BRITBOWL 34, national champions for the first time in their history. Titans 37, Warriors 7. What an incredible performance and what an incredible outcome, Carl.
Titans have just shaken up the whole of British American football. The dynasty of the Warriors has been going on for just under a decade, and this score tonight just rearranges the top of the sport. Tamworth tried it 2 years in a row, 3 years in a row, trying to beat the Warriors in the final, and they couldn't get it done. They nearly beat them in the semis this year, but it's the Manchester Titans at the first time of asking that had what it took to take on these Titans, to take on these Warriors and win in a national final.
Dominant in every aspect of play. Join us shortly for the presentation of the national title trophy and the announcement of that MVP. But we'll hand you back down to John in our studio.
Ring me, baby! Ring me! Ring me! Manchester! Phoebe Schechter alongside me here on the sidelines as we watch the Manchester Titans celebrating. I mean, none of us expected that. Tash Crump also with us, and sorry,
Just Phoebe. I was about to go.
You were just watching these celebrations. I don't think any of us predicted this.
No, not at all. But I mean, we talked earlier, right, when we had the under-19s out here with the Blitz and Tamworth and saying about what that future of the sport looks like. I mean, this is major for the adult program, for the senior program. Having a team that's not the London Warriors winning. I know you've got some pretty cool stats for us in a minute there, John. But I mean, this is incredible, and what a great job done by the Manchester Titans and their entire organization.
Really is incredible. My stat is that this is the first time a team from outside of London have won this since 2017, which sounds impressive, but obviously we haven't had one since 2019, so it's not quite as impressive, but I just thought you'd enjoy that stat.
We do enjoy that stat, and I think it's a big deal because the first time that a team outside of London completely won it was when Tamworth Phoenix won it in 2017. So I mean, the fact that now you've finally got another northern team coming through and actually managing to crack through that southern wall, it's a great thing to happen.
I think so, and I mean, I'd also say that it allows for, at the moment, I'd say the London Warriors are the benchmark, right? If you're a team throughout the UK, you know that is who you want to try and to achieve to be, right? But now, actually, you've got a team in the north, which says so much, which, who knows, maybe it's a Scottish team next, who knows what will happen next. And so, what's that?
Sorry, I was having my
I
issues.
know.
We're all good, we're all good. I think it is great that it's being spread around. Because you look back at the teams that have won, and there's a lot of London involved there, and it's good to see that the country is being represented. In terms of the score, 37-7 in the end. I mean, we talked about what the Warriors had to come out and do, and that was get the football, which they did, and do something positive with it, and they probably did the worst thing they could have done.
You know what, and I'll come to you in a second, Tash, sorry about that, but for me, again, Warriors' strength is their run game, and they really didn't stick to that. You know, they started throwing the ball around, and I know that, you know, Nick, the quarterback, did a great job with what he had and having no practice time, but know what your strengths are. And I think some of that probably comes down to the offensive play calling. You've got Jerome Allen, who used to be the GB quarterback, who is also used to be the quarterback for the Warriors, and probably a more pass-minded individual. You need to have someone who's really specific, run game minded, and again, know that's your strength. You have depth at running back, you have guys who can get off the ball, move it. Why not look to that instead of putting the ball in the air? And it's almost a predictable move. You know you're down, you're coming into the second half, so you're going to go for a big play. It's not even like an intermediate, you're going deep downfield. So some way a little bit predictable, but I think some of they didn't know what to do either.
Yeah, I think that the key thing was that, as you just said, Phoebe, like, they went into the air, but actually one of the strongest parts of the Manchester defence are their DBs. Yeah. So I'm sorry, you're basically giving them an open opportunity to take the ball. Like, and why would you do that when you have such a strong running back core? Like, their running backs are incredible. Everybody knows London Warriors for their running backs. They've had some of the best running backs in the country throughout the years. Use them, utilise them, and that just didn't happen. It's something was missing on their team today, and I think that today's match actually it shows just how important it is to have a real leader in your quarterback on the field, because that's exactly what the Warriors are missing.
It's a really big loss, as we can see everyone celebrating here, continuing the sort of trophy just a second ago. No fingerprints on that trophy. It's so nice to see that so many people have hung around as well, because obviously a lot of people will have travelled down, but I know there's obviously a lot of locals here who were supporting the local team, but you know, they seem to be I don't want to say losing graciously, because that sounds, you know, you don't want to call anyone a loser as such, but you know, taking the defeat and from the sidelines I can see it. I mean, you can't see the players so much, but London Warriors aren't used to losing, are they?
Not at all, and it's interesting. So there are a lot of fans of the sport who are in the stand, but actually I would say a majority of people are players themselves, coaches, people who are really invested into this sport. So I think the fact that they stayed to the end is, one, an appreciation and a nod to Manchester Titans, and two, you know, in the past I thought maybe the Warriors fans might have left with the score being what it was, but actually, you know, I look to our GB women who are here who play for Warriors. They love football, they appreciate football, and they think, hey, they're not playing football to the level that they should be playing, and this team are. So I think there's some of that appreciation going too.
As you mentioned there, friends and families, very dark here. It's one of those things, isn't it, where the summer creeps in. Look at, we've got our lights here, but you know, under these floodlights now, these players just absolutely enjoying the moment here, and it's going to be a fun trip back to Manchester, I would imagine.
I can imagine them not going back to Manchester. I have a feeling quite a few of them might be having a bit of a celebration instead, in all honesty.
I should imagine there's a lot of fun to be had in London this Saturday night. There's a big event at Wembley. You've got the Taylor Hawkins concert there, tribute concert. Maybe they can sneak in there and enjoy a bit of live music or something. That's probably not far away from where we are now, but it's great to see. We are going to have the presentation very soon. A lot of people congratulating other people as it goes on here. I mean, honestly, we've been here many hours today, and people in such good voice now, still this late on. I am actually impressed with the crowd.
I know, it is very impressive, but that is the energy that Manchester bring to the table. You know, it's pretty cool too to see. They've had a lot of the under-19s, under-16s that have kind of moved up throughout the years, played for Manchester for 4 or 5 years now, seeing their parents up there who have been supporting them for so long, now watching their young kids out here balling out. It's really special, I think, for a lot of them, and again, shows the growth of the program. I'm interested to see what Warriors are going to do next, right? Like, what are their next stages? They've been a team that have openly spoken about how they want to play in Europe, and you know, maybe that was because they felt they didn't have the level of competition here in the UK. But what does that mean now when you've, for the first time, faced Manchester Titans, and actually it's a lot more competitive than perhaps they've given the country credit for?
Yeah, I think that when you start looking at the teams in BRITBOWL, a lot of them are actually starting to realise that it's not about how many teams that you have, and it's not about the amount of teams, it's actually about the players that you bring and actually having a full squad all the time. And I think that's kind of one of the big things about actually the Manchester squad, is they managed to build themselves up. But I think that a lot of British teams are realising that actually you don't need loads of teams in the UK. What we do need though is strong teams with strong players to be able to give competition to the Warriors and to other teams that have been at the top of the pecking order for so long.
A lot of GB talent on the show today. What did you both make of the players we saw there?
Yeah, I mean, you can't deny that last throw from Sam Bluefield, the GB quarterback. I mean, that was just beautiful. And the way that, for me, you know, watching it here and watching it live like this, the talent of the receivers has gone up so much. But actually, I'd say for Titans specifically, I felt they were really strong on all three phases of the football, the offense, defense, and special teams. Whereas I'd say Warriors today, even with their GB talent, they probably have a bit of an older crew in terms of playing, but I didn't think that some of their top receivers were at their level of their game. I think there was a lot of blown coverages for them on defense as well that Manchester kind of capitalized on. But I would love things like this because as a national program, you play each other in your domestic clubs and you beat each other up and it's all that, but then you come together as a GB squad, and we've got the GB students head coach here, the GB adult head coach here, GB women's head coach here. So it's really cool to see that reunion and that community that I know that even Jason Scott was talking about earlier too.
Yeah, I'm interested to know. It'd be good to go and work with Jason, but I imagine he's getting involved very much like you, Phoebe, knows everyone here. To see what he thought of the GB talent that was on show there. And something that I wasn't aware of, on the Titans team there are 2 female players.
Yep, we have 2 female players. Tika is actually a twin, so her and Ambra, her sister, are from Italy. And so they're out here playing. They were a receiver, and I think again that goes back to something that Tash said earlier, where they're a really inclusive team. If you can play, you come out here and play. We also actually have Bo Stewart, who is one of the coaches for Manchester Titans. She's one of our GB women's players. I know there's a couple other girls who are on staff, women on staff. So absolutely, I mean, it's just a family, right? It's the ethos you create, the community you create, and it's been great.
Now, one of the questions that I saw on the hashtag, I think it was BRITBOWL 34, I think I probably looked that up earlier on, was how the leagues in the UK work together. And I'm talking about the league right here, but also the university leagues. And Tash, you were telling me earlier, when I posed this to you, when I found this, that they kind of work in sync, because the question was basically how many of these players are playing at a university level, because in the USA, obviously the university is the kind of pathway into playing in the NFL, and it kind of helps, they kind of help each other out, the leagues.
Yeah, so when you're playing Uniball, that's between September and March. The moment that March hits, basically Uniball's finished. But that is perfect timing because you go straight into the senior season that tends to start about April, May time. And it gives you a really good run up because you're basically already trained then in playing 11s, which means then that senior team does not need to almost take you back to basics. You're not having to start from basics. You're able to then go straight in, understand 11s from a brand new player. But it also then helps a lot of these players get to know their local communities. So if you think about university, it's you're campus based, and a lot of people don't actually get out into their local communities. Whereas if you stay on campus then over summer, you're more likely to actually join your local team that's linked to your university, and universities actually tend to become then feeder clubs for these senior teams, and it really then helps to develop the game but bring those younger players up. And I mean, we've seen so many, we've seen such incredible talent through Uniball. I mean, I played Uniball myself. I absolutely loved it, and that's how I started. That's how Phoebe met me, because Phoebe came and coached one of our sessions, and then she was like, you should come down to this taster thing with women's. And that's how I didn't know there was women playing. So actually Uniball was my way into the women's game. And actually that's how a lot of these guys are starting when they're young. If they don't get into under-19s, they're able to progress them through Uniball and they're able to actually start their career. But it's that they have Uniball then to learn, and then they go into senior.
Okay, so it's not quite how the Americans do it, but it's certainly there are positives to the way it's put together. I think it's good that we obviously had London Blitz earlier, who really did blitz, and a lot of them. It's good to see a lot of them around watching this game, and that to see the spectacle of the BRITBOWL. That must be really inspiring for them to move up to these senior teams and hopefully one day themselves play in this amazing game.
Yeah, and I mean, you said it earlier in terms of people who watch the NFL over here, and a lot of the youth actually, they've never seen a live NFL game. This is probably the closest thing to what they'll watch in this country, unless you're a football, soccer fan and go and feel that energy. There's still great energy here. There's an understanding of the nuances of the game, the ups and downs of how it all operates. So it's great.
They put the whole program over a number of years, and then it was the addition of Jonathan Homer as the head coach coming in. It really got them over the edge, didn't it? It got them to that next level where they were really competing with the likes of Tamworth. And this year, they split the difference, and now obviously have even taken down the mighty Warriors. So it really is a tremendous moment for them, and a tremendous moment for American football in this country.
There's one of the Italian twins that Phoebe was mentioning earlier on, all part of this Manchester tapestry that have climbed the mountain and sit atop the summit of British American football in 2022. Incredible, incredible scenes. And as the Titans roll through, your mind turns inevitably to the MVP. There are so many candidates, Carl, from this performance today. I mean, defence alone, you could pick out a handful.
Yeah, I mean, the two standout linebackers are Joe Partington and Jack Watson for me, but defensive line were amazing. Katie Martin was amazing. You had a number of defensive linemen making plays. You had defensive backs that were shutting down these wide receivers for the Warriors. And so anywhere across this team, and that's what it took to beat the Warriors. You have to be good everywhere, because if you have a weakness somewhere, you know that this dynasty of a club will take advantage of it and pull back a win. They'll find a way, but the Titans were good everywhere. And then on offense, of course, Matt, a bundle of talent and skill as well.
Absolutely, and like you alluded to earlier, it wasn't sort of, if we shut this down, we'll be okay. If you shut one thing down, another door springs open somewhere else. From running backs Thomas Jones and Pangar to receivers Bamba and Ainscoe, even number 11 Britton, who got in on the action at the end. And then the man himself, Sam Bloomfield, who orchestrated seamlessly a fantastic performance to try and make sure that the Warriors really never even had a sniff. Beginning of the game, really, Cole, there was that, you mentioned it, likened it to a heavyweight contest in the boxing match. Body blows left, right, and there wasn't really that knockout blow until that first touchdown to Bamba.
Yeah, and you said it, you wonder what, where the Warriors were, where they came, they had those two walkover wins towards the end of their last season, and then they had that sort of sleepy win that they got in Tamworth when they had to come back from 21-7 down. And they just didn't have what it took to come back against this Titans team. Whatever the Titans needed to learn from that Tamworth semi-final, they learned, and they shut the door on the Warriors. And they shut the door on this great dynasty that we've had for 9-10 years now, except for that little blip in 2017. And we'll have to see, as our panel were reflecting, what happens now to the Warriors. But Manchester, tell us about their drives, and then I want to say something about the history of football in Manchester before we let this one go.
Well, very quickly then, 12 total drives for the Titans. 4 of them ended up in the end zone on offense, 3 through the air, 1 on the ground, and then we had that defensive pick 6 to cap things off at the end, with George Slade running it in, as Nick Jackett was in emergency mode by that point, as we see the final players and now the coaching staff walking through to collect their medals. Go on then, Carl, what have you got for us about the Titans?
Well, it's one of those special occasions, isn't it, when you get to want to, not just this team, but the history of American football in such a great atmosphere such as this, with so much going on in British American football. And Manchester's been one of those cities that has always been close to American football. Back in the day with the Northwich Spartans, it became the Manchester Spartans and went on to win a championship, and then there was the lull in Manchester, and then the Titans coming back in the early 2000s, and they've built this program since that time. And I want to honor and acknowledge all of the efforts and amount of time and energy and skill and capability that just goes on into building a program of this caliber, and they got there, and by golly, I'm sure it feels great.
Absolutely, as the final players receive their trophies, their medals rather, but just before, our MVP with a 21 out of 30 passing performance, 3 TDs. The BRITBOWL 34 MVP goes to quarterback Sam Bloomfield, and a well-deserved MVP, I think, as his team chant in the background.
Yeah, there was no one else, I think, and he's had a tremendous career, Sam, and he's been amazing all season, only thrown 10 interceptions all season, 47 touchdowns, another 3-4 touchdowns tonight. I don't know what the stats are.
Yeah,
over 40 touchdowns for the year.
And here is the moment that all of Manchester's been waiting for. The 2022 BRITBOWL National Champions, the Manchester Titans. jubilant scenes here at New River Stadium. So well deserved from start to finish. Dynamic, diverse, all dominating over the mighty London Warriors. Carl, we're going to hand back down to the studio so we can wrap this tumultuous occasion up for the evening.
Now guys, can everyone hear me? Maybe the celebration, maybe the fireworks have blown them off. I'm gonna double mic. Here. That seems fine. We're all good, yeah. So it's, I mean, I would be taking some of this, taking some of these streamers home. You know, that'll be in a scrapbook at some point soon. There we go. We've seen the celebrations, and Phoebe's found a friend.
I have. We have got ourselves head coach Jonathan Homer. Congratulations, coach. How do you feel?
Yes, right. hey, look, you know, I enjoy being written off. The North's terrible. We're the worst team in Premiership history. We were never going to beat Tamworth. We were never going to make the playoffs. There was no chance we beat Bristol. And absolutely everyone's written us off here. Keep writing us off, it's fine. It's all fine.
We've all said it this whole time. We love an underdog story, and you've done such a brilliant job. I mean, the way that all three phases today worked, offense, defense, special teams. I mean, what for you when you were planning? Because for a lot of people, game planning against the Warriors is quite a big deal. What were the key things that you were looking at from a coaching perspective?
You know, about just before we played Edinburgh, and we played Edinburgh back-to-back games 8 and 9. Before that, we came together as a team. We weren't happy with a few things, and we kind of set 4 goals, 4 mental goals. We call it the 4 phases of the BRITBOWL. Beat Edinburgh, beat Sandwell, beat Bristol, beat London. So a lot of it was mental, and we stopped calling them the Warriors. People are scared of the Warriors. Everyone's petrified of the Warriors. You call them London, they're just another team. And if you get rid of that mental hurdle, yeah, they've got guys who play in the NFL, guys who play in the EFL, it doesn't matter. You get rid of that mental hurdle, and you play good fundamental football, you'll win.
Yeah, I love that. And we were talking earlier, I was telling them about really Tash as well, the culture of the Manchester Titans, and I know that's a big piece of it. But I mean, you guys travel with a ton of people, and I mean, not just your actual staff, but the fans, the way that you get support. Like, what is it about the Titans culture that makes people really want to be a part of it, or hate it?
Yeah, or hate it. You know, when we started running the club in like 2013-14, we really drove one club, one family. We really looked to bring all of our teams together. And actually, what you see in the stands, you know, there's parents of our under-16s team right there. You know, there's guys on the field that I met when they were 14 years old. And actually, that flows through because there's so many guys in the squad that played youth and junior football with us. And actually, when our under-19s play, it's mandatory for our seniors to go in fancy dress and support them. Yeah, you know, everybody supports everybody, and I think it shows off.
Do you think that, because like we were saying about the culture, what you guys have actually built up over the last couple of years, you've literally gone from the bottom and worked your way up. Do you think that what you've built, actually other teams in the UK need to start looking at you guys as an example of what they could do?
Everything that we do, I've copied off someone else, you know, still with pride. When I came to the front, I wanted to build a great under-17 program, so I looked at Troy, I looked at Highland, I looked at these teams, you know, I wanted to build a great under-19 program, so I looked at the London Blitz. I looked at East Kilbride, I looked at these teams. Everything we do, we steal, and we steal with pride. So, people can pick up the phone and ask us. There's nothing special going on here. There's no rocket science going on here. Just, everyone pulls together. But I mean, I started here in 2005. I was talking to Al Murdoch, who's the only guy who's been here longer than me. We used to play muddy fields. I don't want to piss people off, but Hull, Redditch,
all the big places.
All these Carlisle, Walney, the real, like, so many of these guys played in D2 with us. Like there's 15, 20 of these guys with us in D2, and actually, we've come through together. I think that shows.
John, I've got to ask you the big question, and that we've speculated before. Now we can get the actual answer. What's the party going to be like tonight? Is it back home, or are you staying in London? What's going on?
We're in Southgate, most of us. I feel sorry for the Bristol and the Highland guys that are staying there because they're not sleeping. We're scouting a few travel-ins and Premier-ins not too far from here. Great job booking a national final, and Spurs were at home. That didn't drive the hotel prices up. But yeah, it's going to be good.
It's going to be a good night. We're going to let you go. Congratulations, John, and just make the most of it. Make sure you grab some of that sparkly gold, whatever you call it. Well, you got a bit of sparkly gold there. Okay. All right, nice one. We'll let you go. It's been a great day, and the sound of the great day has been provided by our commentary team, who we're going to bring in now. And I'm just not going to say anything. I'm just going to let you admire. I'm going to let you admire this. Look at this. Look at this.
Smart gentleman.
First time on camera all day. It's been worth it, hasn't it?
I'm actually going to probably move out of shot. I don't think I can be in the same shot. I mean, you've really made the effort here, and I mean, I just, do you wear these all the time, or is this just because it's such a special occasion you thought you'd make that effort?
We wear them all the time. That's the truth of it.
Every day.
Eat, sleep. That's just how it is. We take our job so seriously.
You do. You did a fantastic job. I mean, what did you make of that game? We were standing here, sort of, basically thinking, you know what, we shouldn't have made a prediction because none of us called that.
Well, again, without being disrespectful, we said this in commentary, without being disrespectful to Manchester, I don't think any of the BRITBOWL community at all could have seen this today. And, you can go ahead and you can look at the fact that the Warriors were without their starting quarterback, D. Williams, and we thought the running game, as much as, that is the Warriors' strength, the couple of the runners looked banged up. And then we got to the point where the Titans just, dominated. They had to go away from that running game a little bit. They had no choice but to put the ball up in the air. And obviously, without your starting quarterback, that's going to be the difference. Now, you could argue, couldn't you, that that's the case. But at the same time, it wasn't the offense that was conceding the points. You've got to give the Manchester offense all the credit that they can to dominate in all areas, on the ground, in the air. And the way that Bloomfield orchestrated that offense was just phenomenal. And we were in awe. We kept looking at each other there behind the camera going, is this actually happening?
Guys, we're gonna show some of the big moments. I know you think you finished commentating, but you haven't quite finished commentating. I'm going to hand this microphone to Phoebe, and I'd like you and Phoebe just to talk through some of the big moments from that second half.
Perfect, exciting.
Right.
We are excited for the highlights.
This is when you don't know what's coming.
Literally. This is like one of those game shows.
So obviously, Warriors on offense to begin with.
Yeah, this was Nick Jacke's arm, wasn't it? Deep downfield.
I mean, this was beautiful.
Yeah, this was Bennington's interception.
First
This was the great play by Manchester, both on offense and defense. But they wherever they were tested by the Warriors, they came through. It was one of the touchdowns from
second turnover here should be. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. It's just the DBs that did such a great job of covering. And you have another touchdown coming up here.
Yeah, this is Jacket coming, but this is the pick six from '87, and he got the same. This is George, and he got the same pick six in the semi-finals. And they just sit back there. They get once they're in front, they made sure that they closed the door, and they just kept closing the door. You were trying to steal the mic off me, weren't you?
I was trying to steal that. No, I don't need to. I think in any game, we talk about the quarterbacks, talk about the receivers, the running backs, the linebackers. We mention it again up there. The O-line, Manchester's O-line, Bloomfield wasn't touched all game. And at the same time, opening the gaps for Thomas Jones, they're just, deserve so much credit. They're the unsung heroes of any football team, particularly when a quarterback, it stays that clean, and an offense is that, if you like, dynamic and explosive all the way through. So that really stood out to me.
Yeah, we had talked about that in terms of the Warriors' O-line, because really I can only think of two real plays that their O-line really stood up to, and especially in the pass game, that one touchdown to Luke Henry earlier at the end of the first half. and really one other time, they just weren't on that same level, which again is not something I think we ever thought we would be saying about the Warriors team in general.
And you wonder you wonder about the motivation, don't you, to keep winning every year. You're not touched, and no one's coming close. And how far can you keep that going? Now they've had a wake-up call. They got it in the semi-finals, but they've really had a wake-up call with the Titans. And now there'll be questions asked within the Warriors organization about what next for us.
But I think some of that also is a bit of a, I like both teams a lot, right? And I think some of it is a bit of an unfairness to the Warriors in the sense that look at how many teams have pulled out against playing them recently.
Sure.
And I think that has done them a disservice because they've not had that opportunity to play week in and week out as they've been guaranteed or they thought they would, whereas Titans have had that opportunity. And the people that pulled out were actually big games that would have been a challenge for them. And I think that's one of the differences with the South and the North. And the North has really had a lot of high-level competition. Every game has kind of been a brawl. And now for the Warriors, they don't really have that many teams or games, Tamworth, now Titans, but how many other teams would you say they've had a real hard tooth and nail fight with?
Yeah. Maybe Bristol now can be that competitive, that edge that they need in the South to keep them sharp. Iron sharpens iron, right? You need something that's going to take you into the playoffs and help you play.
There's that sort of hypothetical as well, isn't there, about, I completely agree with you about getting out of practice almost, but then 2 games off maybe keeps them a bit fresher as well. There's that balance, but equally, like you're quite right, to fall out of practice in the final 2 games. I think prior to the playoff game against Tamworth, which I mentioned was sort of the back end of August, they hadn't played since the beginning of July. So that's a long time to go without any football to then ramp it up to this level again.
Well, there we go. Guys, thank you very much. Thank you for making such an amazing effort with the suits. We appreciate it, and we all feel highly underdressed.
Try harder tomorrow.
Yes, exactly. Carl and Matt, we'll let you go, but thank you very much. And that's pretty much where
tomorrow.
Well,
yes.
Well, there you go. He's already said it, slightly off mic, but Div 1 and Div 2 back tomorrow. But from BRITBOWL 34, congratulations to the Manchester Titans. Thank you to Phoebe, thank you to Tash as well, and thank you to everyone behind the scenes with Onside, the official way and the best way to watch the live coverage. Manchester Titans, BRITBOWL champions.